17,000 plus at Chicago Stadium. This, the 292nd consecutive sellout, a streak that dates back to November of 1987. And this, one of the loudest crowds in the NBA, and the decibel level will begin to rise with the introduction of the starting lineups. And here is the public address voice of the Chicago Bulls, Ray Clay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bulls welcome the world's greatest fans to the Chicago Stadium. Tonight, Game 3 of the NBA Finals is between the Phoenix Suns and your Chicago Bulls. Now for tonight's lineups. First, for the visiting Phoenix Suns. At forward, from Auburn, 6'6" Charles Barkley. A 6'7" forward from Oklahoma State, Richard Dumas. At center, 6'10" from Old Dominion, Mark West. At one guard from Central Michigan, 6'6" Dan Marley. At the other guard, 6'1" from California, Kevin Johnson. The Phoenix Suns are coached by Paul Westphal, assisted by Lionel Hollins and Scotty Robertson. The trainer, Joe Brodsky.
For more on the Bulls, let's go over to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Marv. Before the game, I was talking to Horace Grant, the G-Man, they call him, and he's had his hands full this entire playoff series, first with Charles Oakley, now with Charles Barkley. I said, how in the world do you get yourself inspired? Well, he was sitting down in his locker reading quotes from Vince Lombardi. I said, what's the best thing you read in there? He said, well, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. How appropriate. Marv?
We're a legendary Chicago sports announcers. The first voice of the Chicago Bulls.
All right, Ahmad, Horace Grant, 10 of 13, 24 points, career playoff high in Game 2 in Phoenix. That man on the spot, Kevin Johnson, looking to bounce back from the 2 of 8, 32 minutes in Game 2 on Friday night. Darryl Garretson, Mike Mathis, Dick Pavetta are the officials, and Paul Westphal was telling us earlier about some unusual matchups that he would make some unique changes for tonight's game.
The man has a lot of courage. He's going to try and shake it up. He figured I'm down 0-2. What the heck going into their building? How about giving KJ, Kevin Johnson, the challenge of guarding Michael Jordan? He felt it would get his mind off the offense, make him concentrate on something else. Dumas will play B.J. Armstrong, Marley on Pippen, West on Grant, and give Charles Barkley some rest. Put Barkley on Cartwright, who they don't go to a whole lot.
Magic, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I think it's a good move in terms of letting KJ just say, okay, forget about what happened. The game are behind you. Concentrate on this game, Game 3.
Let's see if the Suns do hold true to that particular matchup. A matchup, I would think, that would lead to the club running better than they have the first two games.
They're hoping that because that's not a normal matchup, they'll be able to sneak guys out, and that Chicago will have a tougher time picking them up in transition, which may open the game up for them a little bit.
All right, Pippen opens up. Rebounded by Barkley. And Barkley tried to slice through. And the Suns have opened up with the unusual matchup. Cartwright guarded by Dumas. He goes right at him. Barkley with the rebound. Charles wearing the elbow protection.
And you see, because of the way they matched up, Michael Jordan winds up on Kevin Johnson right now. He has to pick him up in transition.
Now Marley posting up. Armstrong gets help from Cartwright. Marley for Dumas to the reverse. Richard Dumas had the excellent first game in this series, then sat out most of the second half in game number 2. Well, Phoenix over the first 2 games with the lead for only 3 minutes and 54 seconds out of the possible 96 minutes. They led for only 18 seconds in the second half. So the Bulls off to the slow start. They have gotten off quickly over the first 2 games. Here's Johnson, yes, and the Suns with a 4-0 lead.
See, that's how you can break that shooting slump that you're into. Good move.
Another turnover. Here's Marley with Pippen back. He pulls up for the 3. Rebounded by Jordan.
Phil Jackson had mentioned to us, we have to weather the early storm because they understand if they don't come out with a lot of energy, meaning the Phoenix Suns, in this building, we'll put them to sleep early. So Phoenix had to come out and play hard from the beginning. Chicago has to withstand the early minutes.
And Michael Jordan puts the Bulls on the board.
And there's the concern with Kevin playing him, that Michael will post Kevin up. But then again, if Michael's got it all the time, then the other people aren't hurting him.
Barkley setting for the 3, and he hits it. Charles Barkley had about a half hour to line that shot up.
Well, the elbow must be feeling good. And you know what? I like how Phoenix has come out to start this game. They're taking their threes, they're playing loose, and this is going to be a tough game for Chicago.
B.J. Armstrong cuts it to a 7-4 Phoenix lead. B.J. Armstrong has been superb right throughout the playoffs. And it's Armstrong now guarding Johnson. Good luck, and Dumas puts it away. So the assist for Kevin Johnson, and the Suns lead 9-4. Pippen being guarded by Marley. Dumas with the steal. He had that one diagnosed. The Suns with an 11-4 advantage.
And Phoenix has more energy right now than Chicago does. You can see it. Chicago's kind of meandering through things, not running their cuts real hard, not passing the ball crisply. Phoenix taking advantage.
You know, sometimes when a team is struggling, what they need to do is get on the road. So Phoenix is feeling good right now. They're on the road. They don't have to listen to their crowd, and they're feeling right at home right now.
All right, here's Pippen. And it's tipped home by Jordan. That 7-point lead just a moment ago, the Suns' biggest lead of the series. And Johnson was able to penetrate, could not finish it. Armstrong with West getting back. He goes around it. B.J. Armstrong was facing the 6'10 Mark West, gave him a head fake, and he left him behind.
Gave him a little hesitation. Looked up with his head like he was going to shoot the jumper. Once he saw the big man coming, kept his dribble alive, went to the basket.
Mark West putting moves on Bill Cartwright and goes to the jump hook. Mark West has seen limited action over the first 2 games, 14 minutes, game 1, and in game 2 only 8 minutes. In both situations, he got himself involved in early foul trouble. Suns lead it 13-8. Dick Pavetta, the outside official, calling the foul on Richard Dumas.
Before the game, Charles Barkley said he couldn't pick his elbow up past the top of his head. Well, after a little bit of work from the doctors and trainers, obviously he can rebound the basketball, and if you give enough time, he'll line up a 3-pointer and put that one in the bottom net. He's feeling a little bit better now that the game has started.
Cartwright. Pippen gets inside, and he's rejected by West. Johnson knocked it away from Armstrong. It will be Chicago ball with 21 on the shot clock.
Something that they certainly can use, the presence inside of a shot blocker. West, whose minutes have been limited in the first two games, will block and change them.
And another block by West, but caught right. Able to recover. Suns lead 13-10. 4.5 gone by. Dumas. And Grant fires down to Armstrong. Grant could not complete it. Grant following up, not able to hit. And it's the Suns back to the offense. Barkley being guarded by Grant. Jordan over to help. Jordan playing halfway, giving Marley lots of room as Barkley puts on a gorgeous move and draws the foul. So Charles Barkley will go to the line. Horace Grant is called for the personal, his first.
Charles has done a little bit with his outside game, now a little bit with his inside game. He's feeling pretty good.
Timeout call. We'll be back after this. This coming off the sensational performance Friday night, 18 of 36, 42 points, 1 assist away from a triple-double. And Phil Jackson revealed to us just moments before the game that Michael was not exactly feeling 100% on Friday.
Going into Friday's game, I thought Michael was going to be maybe unable to play a lot of minutes. He had headaches. The doctor was looking at him for heat exhaustion or for some migraine potential headaches before that game. Gave him a heavy dose of Tylenol. That wasn't working. He went out in the court and said he felt better once he started playing and once he started getting into warm-ups. But we were quite concerned. He had to stop the shoot-around during the morning. And yet, somehow or other, he found the energy from whence it comes. I don't know that he has. And only he has had that kind of energy of any player I've ever seen to fulfill a game. And not only that, but just finish a game as well as he did.
I asked Phil, was it perhaps the pressure from all the off-the-court publicity, the Atlantic City journey during the Knicks series, or the book that was released concerning his golf betting? He said, no, he played too much golf in Phoenix under 105-degree temperature, and perhaps that's how he got the headache. West with the rejection.
And rejection is number 25 now in the series for the Phoenix Suns. And gosh, thinking about that statement that Phil Jackson just made, I hope Phoenix wasn't listening to that, because he only had 42 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists in that last game, not feeling well.
Well, right now, Phoenix is doing a wonderful job of team defense. Mark West, that's his third block shot so far in this first quarter. Now, on the other side of that, Phoenix is looking like they're more of a concentrated team, especially in this first quarter. They look like they know what they want to do. They're playing better team defense, what I felt they had to do, and they're going out playing a good game so far.
Horace Grant called for that foul, and the Suns struggling at the line. 6:27 remaining in this first quarter. The Suns with a 15-10 lead. Let's go over to Hannah.
Well, Mark, during that last timeout, Charles Barkley checked in with team Dr. Richard Emerson regarding his injured right elbow. Of course, Barkley with a couple of rebounds early and a three-pointer, and he told the doctor, I think we're going to be all right. Marv?
All right, Hannah, Bill Cartwright has taken a huge number of shots in the early going. He's 2 for 7 from the field. That sometimes is a 2 or 3 game total composite for Cartwright. And Barkley is stopped.
Hello, this is meteorologist Scott Mayo in the TV 13 Weather Center with a look at our... Good evening, this is meteorologist Scott Mayo in the TV 13 Weather Center issuing this tornado warning for northern Warren County. At 6 p.m., spotters located 15 miles south of Des Moines reported seeing funnel clouds in the sky just to the northwest of Indianola. This tornado watch is...
As the buzzer sounded.
You see, what I think Phoenix needs to do, especially when they want to go into Charles Barkley, is do what Chicago do with Michael Jordan. Run a play away from him and then bring it to him. Let him be like the second option, but really he's the first option. But run the play away from him, then bring it to him.
You saw Scott Williams over at the scorer's table getting set to check in for the Bulls' first substitution. Jordan changed his mind. Armstrong now working the right side. And Barkley able to rebound. The Suns 15 and the Bulls 14. Just under 5 minutes remaining. First quarter. Kevin Johnson. And the call is last touch by Jordan. So Phoenix maintains possession. It will be a combination of Scott Williams and Stacey King replacing Bill Cartwright and Horace Grant. Grant with the 2 fouls did not score. Cartwright leaves with 4 points.
Would you say that so far this has not been the explosive beginning that Chicago normally plans on? The crowd getting involved, and it's because of the good start by Phoenix.
Here's West. Dumas on the tip. And the Suns now lead by 3. Bulls try to break, but the Suns did get back. Jordan with room for 3. Yes. Michael Jordan has 7, and he has tied the game at 17. Oh, Armstrong went down, and a foul is called. Foul on West, who blindsided Armstrong. Mark West just apologized to B.J. Armstrong.
Well, what they're trying to do is take that pressure off of KJ and set a pick in the backcourt for him. And what they say, I guess he was moving when he decided to set the pick. See, you're going to see Mark West move over. But what that's going to do is remind B.J. all the time now to look up and look for that pick. Even though he got the offensive foul, Mark West, it's a good move to try to free up KJ.
Here is Pippen. Bulls with a 9-2 run have taken a 2-point lead. First time this evening that Chicago has the lead. Johnson accelerates. He could not penetrate the middle, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Well, in that last timeout, Ahmad Rashad mentioned that Phil Jackson stressed big men. Get over in front of KJ. Don't let him get to the front of the rim. It's exactly what they talked about in that timeout.
Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong once again providing much damage to the Phoenix Suns. Fast start, he's at 4 out of 6. He has 8 points. Chicago leads 21-17. Here's Marley. Yes. And Marley, over the first 2 games, not able to get into it in the first half. In both situations, he came on in the second half. That's his first field goal of the night. Here is Pippen. Scottie Pippen getting good looks. His second field goal has 4. The Bulls now lead by 4. Again, they pick up Kevin Johnson at midcourt.
Well, they're just trying to wear him down. What they want to wear him down, especially for the fourth quarter.
Barkley lost the handle. And they will jump it up. Pippen diving on top of Dumas to tie him up.
Off the dribble, Scottie Pippen elevates and then gets a clean, wide-open look at the front of the rim. You've got to have a hand in his face, go up and challenge the shot. The scramble for the loose ball. This is the finals. You get on the floor and get after all of the loose ones.
Well, B.J. Armstrong came on very strong at the end of the regular season. He has had an excellent playoff run. It took a while for B.J. to gain the confidence of Michael Jordan and the rest of his teammates when he was inserted into the starting lineup earlier this season. It was not readily accepted, but it is a different story now, and we talked about that with Michael Jordan.
I think B.J., like most college players coming to this level, want to be a star. They want to be noticed. They want to score. They want to be known as a scorer. I think most of the people realize that if you score a lot of points, sometimes you get a lot of the recognition. But I think from what B.J. felt is that he knew he could play on this level. He knew he wanted to see his success come his way, but he had to be patient. We had to do it within the team concept. I think he's accepted that role to a point where it's made us a much better team, and now he's getting the recognition that he certainly deserves.
B.J. Armstrong, first-round draft pick of the Bulls back in '89, and is...
A tornado warning has been issued for Warren County. If you live in this county, take shelter immediately and stay tuned to News Center 13 for more information concerning this severe weather.
Know that KJ's playing Michael. We could go to it all the time, but that would take the other guys out of the game. They don't want to do that. They'll get to Michael eventually.
Last touch by Dumas. The Suns have inserted Oliver Miller for the first time.
And I think what Coach Paul Westphal is doing here with all these mismatches and going to different lineups is he's trying to conserve first Dan Marley's energy where he can get off offensively. And then when KJ is guarding Michael Jordan, that means that he can get away from BJ and won't be pressured all over the court once the outlet comes to him.
Oliver Miller was called for that foul.
Scramble for the loose ball. Miller turned his head, didn't keep a body on King. King makes the quick move, comes up with the ball.
Both teams have only 2 team fouls. Very few whistles here at the start. Jordan, after feeling around for the presence of Marley, connecting for his 4th field goal. He's 4 for 6, 9 points. Chicago 25 and Phoenix 19 with just under 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Game 3 of the best of 7. Phoenix trying to cut it to a 2-1 lead. Chicago trying to go up 3-0, and Michael Jordan puts the Bulls up 27-19.
Dan Marley just stood in that corner, even after the steal, never moved. He just couldn't believe that Michael left him, came up with it that clean.
Dumas with the second effort following the rejection, and the Bulls now lead by 6 points. Jordan off the...
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Scott Mayo in the TV 13 Weather Center. I'd like to relay this information to you. A tornado warning is in effect until 7 p.m. for northern Warren County, and also a severe thunderstorm warning for Ringgold and southern Union County until 6:45. Earlier at 6:26, storm spotters reported a storm with extremely heavy rain and rotating clouds 12 miles south of Des Moines along Highway 65-69 in northern Warren County, where the Middle River crosses the highway. It was moving to the east at 20 miles an hour. Residents in the path of this storm should take shelter immediately. Also, 6 inches of water was flowing over Highway 28 near Norwalk, which is 10 miles south of Des Moines. Stay tuned to TV 13. We'll keep you updated as to the severe weather.
Dumas, Barkley, Miller on the front line, Marley and Johnson in the backcourt with 1 minute left in this first quarter. Dumas stripped. Jordan knocking it away. B.J. Armstrong hears it from the crowd as John Paxson replaces him. Armstrong leaves with 8 points. And another outstanding effort. Holding foul called on Paxson.
See, the struggle has come from Phoenix again when they've been able to have to set up in their half-court offense. You know, when they were running up and down, getting steals, getting dunks and layups, it was because of their transition game. Now they're back into their half-court game, and that they've not been able to score in that half-court offense.
West getting ready to return. Bulls 29 and the Suns 22. Here's West, who earlier had 3 blocked shots. Charles Barkley will get a rest. Charles has not been effective. 1 of 4, 4 points, along with 5 rebounds.
Is this a vote of confidence by Paul Westphal that KJ has been on the floor the entire quarter? No one's come in for him?
You're on the road now. Frank Johnson is a good player, and he probably plays better when he's at home. But now you're on the road in the biggest game in probably Phoenix Sun history to date. And you got to go with your veteran. You got to go with the all-star and KJ.
Jordan tried the bullet pass. The officials checking it over. Garrettson and Pavetta in a discussion as to who knocked it out of bounds. Pavetta apparently had the better look, and he says last touch by Chicago.
Well, to me, it hit Oliver Miller and went out of bounds. Nobody else from the Chicago team touched it after that. So you got a break there for the Phoenix Suns.
Yes, that's the contention of the Bulls, but the ball goes to Phoenix. Half-minute remaining in this first quarter. Chicago leads by 6. Dumas, Miller with the tip. So the Bulls now lead 29-25. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. saw the opening and lost it. And they say offensive foul. It's a charge called on Pippen.
I don't know if anybody knew what the call was at the end. Everybody just kind of stood around and waited. Was it going to be a foul for moving underneath Pip? Was it going to be an offensive foul? And then suddenly the announcement that offensive foul was called.
That might have been the first mistake of these 3 games that the Chicago Bulls have played. They shot. Pippen went in with 12 seconds. You know, there's a lot of time now on the shot clock.
Danny Ainge, who had the strong game on Friday night, has come on for the first time. Here's Johnson. Yes. 4 seconds left in the quarter, and the Suns with him, too. Marley with the intercept. Marley for Loomis, and they've tied it at 29. 1 and 5/10 seconds to go in the quarter. Scott Williams throws one the length of the court. Jordan with the shot. So the Suns score the last 8 points of the first quarter. They've come from behind to tie the game at 29.
And what Magic was talking about wound up being a 6-point swing in the game, potentially. 2 that Chicago didn't end to get the quarter, and then after the score, steal, and another score, 4 more points for Phoenix.
After one here in Chicago, the Bulls 29, the Suns 29.
Dream I move, a dream I grew. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. I'm gonna be like Mike. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. Oh, be like Mike, like Mike. If I could be like Mike. Oh, be like
Should we talk about it?
A tornado warning has been issued for Warren County. If you live in this county, take shelter immediately and stay tuned to News Center 13 for more information concerning this severe weather.
Should have just held this basketball. His team was leading 29-25. If they score the last basket, they're up 31-25, up 6. But by him going early, it gave a chance for Phoenix to go down, score, steal the inbounds pass, score again, and you wind up with a 29-29 basketball game to end the first quarter.
I know when I was with the Lakers, if I had to turn that ball over or shot it during that time, Riley would have met me at half court, been screaming and hollering all the way at me.
Second quarter is underway. Grant back in there, rebounds. Trent Tucker has come on for the first time. So a 3-guard alignment for Chicago. Jordan, Armstrong, and Tucker, along with Williams and Grant. Armstrong is open for 3. 11 for B.J. Armstrong. And the Bulls lead 32-29. Tom Chambers has checked in. Chambers up front with West, Marley, Johnson, and Ainge in a 3-guard set. Marley for 3. Yes, and Dan Marley is on target.
They finally took advantage of the team defense of the Chicago Bulls, spotted up Dan Marley on the penetration, kicked it out to him for 3-point.
The game tied at 32. Jordan with the room. Too much room for Michael Jordan from a Phoenix point of view. 15 for Jordan. The Bulls 34, the Suns 32. Marv Albert with the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, Irvin Magic Johnson. Bob Rashad had a score. Bob Costas will be along at halftime with the Prudential halftime report. Bill Walton and Peter Vesey. Here's West getting inside. Mark West with his second field goal, and again we're tied 34 apiece. Minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. Scott Williams. Johnson gets it down for Chambers, and Phoenix is up by 2.
Well, see, this is what I was saying. The way you can get Kevin Johnson involved is to get out in the transition. And they just were able to do that, and that's the session right there.
Jordan feeling for Marley on the post-up move. Rebounded by Scott Williams. Scott Williams so instrumental off the boards in game 1. Did not show up in the numbers as dramatically in Game 2 on Friday, but played well. Horace Grant from deep. That his first field goal. The Bulls and the Suns tied at 36. Mike Mathis with the whistle.
Well, what happened was, Marv, that Tom Chambers and Williams got into a pushing match, and he wanted to just stop the game and say, look, clean it up before I throw one of you out or both of you out.
Settle down type. Stop it. Kevin Johnson with 5 assists. It's the best he's played in the series. Chambers. Tom Chambers off the bench to hit a couple, and the Suns now lead 38-36. And it's called against Chicago. It is an offensive foul, elbow indicated. And it's on Grant. That is his third. 3 personals on Horace Grant.
One of the reasons why Phoenix is shooting 57% in this game is they've gotten many more easy scores as compared to the first 2 games where they shot just 46% combined.
The Suns are feeling the heat. Game 4 Wednesday night.
BC is brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the past 10 years. By the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by Coors Light, the silver bullet is the right beer now.
Most critical for Chicago to have Grant on the floor. He steps up to back pick as his teammate cuts. Ainge gets hit with the block. The official calls an offensive foul, number 3 on Horace Grant. He's not real happy with that. He knows he has to go to the bench. Let's take it over to Hannah for a second, see what she's got from the Phoenix bench.
Well, Charles Barkley is still sitting at the end of the Phoenix bench. He's not re-entering the game. At this point, Charles is having ice applied to that injured right elbow. Dr. Richard Emerson is afraid that Charles may have lost some of the strength in that elbow. They have some ice on it right now to keep the swelling down. Marv?
All right, Hannah, the Suns 38, the Bulls 36. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Kevin Johnson backing his way on B.J. Armstrong. Chambers, yes. The Suns have hit 8 of their last 9, and Tom Chambers a major factor. He's hit 3 of 3 from the field.
For the first time in this series, in this game, the Phoenix Suns are taking advantage of the double teaming trap that the Chicago Bulls are putting on them. So they're getting good shots and they're knocking them down.
Here's Jordan. Well, he beat Marley, but went short, tried to alter the shot as he was putting the move on West. Marley on the rebound. Another opportunity for the Suns. 3.5 gone by in the second quarter. Ainge for West. West rejected and fouled by Pippen. Scottie Pippen committing his second.
Trying to take a page out of Chicago's defensive book. Big men come over, close down the lane to the basket. Mark West rotates underneath Michael Jordan. It makes Michael come up a little bit short. Michael not real happy about it afterwards. Has a few words to say to Darryl Garrettson as they head down the floor side by side. Good buddies, Michael Jordan, Darryl Garrettson.
And Mark West, a very poor free throw shooter, 52% during the season, hits on the first. Mark West started his NBA career with Dallas and on to Milwaukee. Cleveland is his 6th year with the Suns. Acquired in that deal involving Larry Nance. And hits on both, and Mark West has played well in the first quarter. The Suns lead by 6. Ainge over to double up. Cartwright. Jump it up, Pippen, and Marley will jump it up. Phil Jackson making some more changes. Darrell Walker, who has seldom played in the playoffs, has come on. He's on the floor along with Armstrong and Jordan, Cartwright, and Pippen.
And Danny Ainge read that Darrell Walker was on the floor. He ran right over and double-teamed Michael Jordan. They said, you can have the ball, Darrell Walker. You're going to have to beat us. Walker got to it, and a foul is called.
It's on Walker. Mathis with the call, with Walker looking for position against Ainge. Here it is.
I think he called Darrell Walker for pushing off with that left arm as Ainge tried to rotate around and steal the jump ball.
6 unanswered points by Phoenix for the 6-point lead. Kevin Johnson goes all the way. It will not count. Offensive foul. For Kevin, his second personal.
Kevin Johnson must understand he needs the in-between game. When you beat the first guy off the dribble, you've got to pull up about 8 to 10 feet from the basket and look to shoot that in-between jumper or then drop it off. You can't get all the way to the front of the rim against this Bulls team.
Cartwright. Bill Cartwright in the right spot for the ricochet. The Suns lead by 4.
They probably won't give Michael Jordan an assist on that, but he's the one who tipped it to Cartwright, and he knew it the whole time what he was doing when he went up for that rebound.
Ainge guarded by Walker. Shot clock at 6. West backing Cartwright, and a foul on Cartwright. Not allowing West to get position, but called for the personal.
Well, right here, you're going to see that first Bill Cartwright has 2 hands in the back, and that's what the call was, 2 hands in the back. You're not allowed this year to have 2 hands in the back.
Non-shooting foul. Second team foul called on Chicago. Johnson, well, it was met by Cartwright on a switch and was able to get the shot off on target. The Suns playing well, lead the Bulls 44-38. 5 minutes and change gone by in the second quarter, and a pushing foul called on Phoenix. It's on Ainge.
Going back to that KJ play, if Phoenix want to get him more shots, more involved, still run Bill Cartwright in the pick and roll because he will not come out and challenge KJ.
Don't even think about it.
Ken Steffes and Karch Karai, the reigning kings of the beach. Volleyball's brightest stars are out to knock them off their throne. The Miller Lite Chicago Open, live next weekend on NBC.
Ahmad Rashad back in Chicago Stadium. Now, last week there was a bit of a controversy in Phoenix. Some of the players were wearing this T-shirt. Now, they weren't wearing it because they were feeling cocky, but they were looking for a rallying cry. But Phil Jackson said, wait a minute, it's a little bit too early for you guys to wear that shirt. So they took it off and they put them on ice and probably had a good time. As you can see, Phoenix is saying that maybe you won't wear these at all. Back to you, Marv.
Yes, Phil did not want to show the overconfidence. Long way to go in this series. Charles Barkley looks to make his way back. Charles Barkley played only 11 minutes. 1 for 4 from the field, yet the Suns are up by 6 with Barkley sitting down, and he's bothered by that injured right elbow. The Suns have outscored Chicago 23-9.
The reason for that was, Mark, because the Phoenix Suns players were not standing around watching Charles Barkley. They were moving without the ball, and getting themselves involved in the offense.
Armstrong off the weave set up by Chicago that has been so effective, and the Suns now lead by 4. Yes, Magic, that's the downside. Of course, you'd rather have Charles Barkley in the lineup. We're talking about the league's most valuable player, but at times with the back-end moves, and he does hold the ball too long as Kevin Johnson is able to hit. And there was more movement with Phoenix over that period when they outscored Chicago 23-9.
Yeah, you definitely want him on the court, but if the team is playing well without him, that was a smart move by Paul Westphal to leave him out and let the team continue to play well without him.
Here's Pippen. Now Scottie Pippen has been off. Pippen is 2 of 7 from the field. But another opportunity for Chicago. Barkley runs in to Cartwright and picks up his first foul.
remember what Mike Fratello was talking about right here. KJ pulls up early. He did not go in to get that offensive foul, and he makes the basket. So KJ must have heard you, Mike.
That in-between game, you have to have that if you're a guard that penetrates, because they'll eventually close down the path to the basket. It's kind of interesting, that start by Phoenix of KJ on Michael, got him off. Now they're back to a normal straight matchup of KJ on BJ.
And Pippen, trying to save that pass that went astray, stepped out. So Phoenix will get it back.
BJ coming off the screen, set by Pippen, throws back a little bit behind where his teammate was. The turnover takes place.
Johnson out guarded by Tucker, goes to the left hand. Beautiful move. Kevin Johnson at his very best. Off the crossover, beat Trent Tucker, and the Suns showing much life. Now lead by 8 points.
Well, because of KJ is showing life. He's making smart decisions. He knows when to drive, when to penetrate now. And the basket right there by Armstrong.
Armstrong has 15. Suns 48. The Bulls 42. Chambers guarded by Williams. Bad pass by Chambers. Armstrong for Tucker. Spots up for 3. Yes.
He's a hired gun. That's why they brought him here. Open the game up. Get behind that three-point line with Pippen and Jordan having the ability to penetrate. Just stand back there, Trent, shoot the open shot.
Yes, they wanted Trent Tucker in the... That's an offensive foul. They wanted Trent for the Craig Hodges role, but he has not been consistent with the shot. It's also very difficult because if he misses 1 or 2, he usually sits down, does not get the other opportunity.
Danny Ainge holds that screen, sticks the hip into B.J. Armstrong, trying to come over the top of it a little bit too long. The offensive foul is called. B.J. Armstrong knows that. He stuck his nose in there, took the punishment.
Scottie Pippen bringing Chicago within 1. Suns have led by as many as 8. We're coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the half. Kevin Johnson, rebound, Scott Williams. Cartwright, played by Barkley. Williams, they're giving him the shot. They feel Scott Williams cannot beat them from the outside. Here's Chambers on the drive. Offensive foul.
Chambers actually thought he was going to the foul line. He thought first the ball was going to fall in, and then he was going for a three-point play attempt. Williams there, planted. On that angle, it's tough to tell whether Chambers moved to his left or not.
And then Charles Barkley he was just saying, oh, no. And Paul Westphal went crazy. He was all the way up to almost half court. He couldn't believe that call.
Chicago with a 7-0 run. They are within 1. Shot clock at 6. Shot clock at 3. Pippen. And the loose ball foul called against the Bulls.
Loose ball foul. 24, Bill Cartwright.
It's on Cartwright. His second. Timeout has been called. 3:24 remaining in this first half. The Suns lead by 1.
Look, it's Big Shot Lawyers.
Put the calf roping back on.
Let's watch both.
Chuck Daly from his home in New Jersey. Daly, of course, coached the Detroit Pistons to back-to-back titles in '89 and '90 before their effort to three-peat was short-circuited by the Bulls. And we'll get thoughts on both the series and tonight's game from Quinn Buckner, Bill Walton, and Peter Bessie. That's coming up at halftime, but right now, back courtside to Marv, Mike, and Magic. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, and Kevin Johnson has certainly been a major factor here this evening for the Phoenix Suns with 12 points and 6 assists.
Well, the reason for that was Paul Westphal made a great change. He decided to go with Marley or Danny Ainge setting a pick for KJ, and that's able him to get into the lane, penetrate, get his jump shot off, because the guards are not used to trapping like the big men are with the Chicago Bulls.
Those big men have been stepping out, bumping him with their body, taking away his ability to turn that corner against him initially by going guard to guard on the screen. It's made a big difference in his ability to take the switch and then go from there.
And KJ has gone Pistons. We have not seen Frank Johnson. Kevin Johnson lifted late in the game on Friday night for Frank Johnson. Barkley. Charles Barkley with the bucket and the foul. Foul committed by Michael Jordan, who just checked back in.
They let Barkley back pick, then step out to the top of the circle. Because he can make that shot, Scott Williams flies past him. Barkley takes the punishment. Enough strength and concentration to finish the play off and gets a nice roll at the end as it bites the rim, grabs, and drops through.
The Suns 50 and the Bulls 47. And Barkley to the free throw line. He's 1 for 2 from the line. Getting for a 7th point. Coming off the 42-point performance on Friday with Jordan and Barkley both scoring 42. Only the second time in NBA Finals history that two opponents had hit 40-plus in the same game. Back in '69, it was Jerry West of the Lakers scoring 41. John Havlicek of Boston hitting 43 as Michael Jordan cuts it to a 2-point lead. Havlicek doing it for the Celtics.
Well, here's that out-of-bounds play, and you can see that Scott Williams dove there and knocked it out of bounds. But this is the first time we've seen full-court pressure by the Chicago Bulls in this game.
I saw a moment ago that Chicago has not shot one free throw to this point in the game. During the regular season, they were 26th, next to last in the NBA free throw attempts. They averaged just under 24 free throw attempts a game. So having none at this point, though, still a bit unusual.
And Phoenix 7 of 9 from the line. Johnson just did get it across. Dumas. Crowd wanted to travel on Dumas, and then he lost possession. Jordan for 3. Michael Jordan hitting the three-pointer, his second of the night, and he has 20 points for the game. Bulls lead by 1. Bulls have hit 4 out of 6 from downtown. Here's Marley for 3, yes. And Dan Marley hits again. That is his second three-pointer. 8 points for Marley. Suns with a 54-52 lead.
And Michael Jordan was really upset. He switched on KJ. BJ was supposed to play Dan Marley. And a good basket there by Scottie Pippen. But BJ was supposed to come out to the line and play Marley, and he didn't, and that's why he got that three-point shot.
Opening up the offensive arsenal, Michael Jordan stops behind the three-point line and shows that he has the range today, and then Dan Marley comes right back and answers with a 3 of his own for the Phoenix Suns. A little bit of outside handoff action. Pippen knows he draws contact, so the only concern then is get it up on the rim. Maybe something good will happen.
Pippen fouled by Dumas, able to hit the free throw. He's turned it around from the 3 of 9 from the line. One delay of game. Warning is called. Bulls by 1. Again, pressure. Suns able to handle it. Dumas trying to elude Jordan. 10 on the shot clock. 1:40 to go in the half. Barkley is fouled. And Charles looked like he hurt the elbow.
Richard Dumas tried to put the ball over the top of Michael Jordan's head, which many players will use and get the defensive guy to turn around when you suddenly put it over. Michael never went for the fake, came right back. And here it is. He tries to put it over his head. Michael says, I'm not going to go for that one. He's talking to him right now.
Barkley 2 of 3 from the line.
On the drive, Barkley may have gotten hit in the same elbow again that was injured coming into this game. Pump fake, the body lands right on it. He feels it in the sore elbow.
They drained the elbow about a half hour before the start of the game. Misses on both free throws. Bulls 55 and the Suns 54. Here's Jordan. Well, Michael went to the left hand, could not put it down. Dumas is fouled by Armstrong.
Oliver Miller coming over, challenged Michael enough to break his concentration. Michael thinks he's going to go with the left, but that long, outstretched arm makes Michael bring it down just long enough to fall short.
And then KJ sees Dumas running down the court, and only thing BJ could do was foul him.
Dumas now 2 of 3 from the line. Richard Dumas, a rookie from Oklahoma State, 71% free throw shooter. Phoenix 56, Chicago 55. 1:10 left in the first half. Now Marley picks up Jordan. Shot clock at 6. Jordan. Oh, he set it up with the crossover. 22 for Jordan. The Bulls by 1. Dumas over King. Williams with the rebound. Stacey King. Trying to change his mind. Marley for Barkley. And he's rejected by King. The basket counts. It's a goaltend.
Once the basketball goes up on the backboard and touches the glass, you cannot take it back off. It touches, there's the pin, then after it's on the glass, you can take it to the glass, you just can't take it off once it's on there. And last time down, Phil Jackson was really upset because King had a great backdoor pass to Scottie Pippen, but never looked for Scottie after Scottie had thrown it to him in the post. Took the move himself, came up short.
Here's Armstrong for 3. Final seconds of the half. Phoenix up by 1. Dumas for Johnson. Time running out. Kevin Johnson. So halftime in Chicago. The Phoenix Suns with a 58-57 lead on the Chicago Bulls. Charles Barkley playing with the injured elbow. Only 3 of 6 for 9 points. Michael Jordan, 10 of 16. He has 22. Phoenix shot 56% from the field, and Chicago at 50%. Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report is coming up. At the half, Game 3 of the NBA Finals, it's the Suns with a 1-point lead.
The 57, Quinn Buckner joins me atop Chicago Stadium here. This reminds me a little bit of Game 6 last year between Portland and Chicago. You know, the Bulls were up 3-2 coming back from Portland. Nobody thought the Trailblazers had much of a chance. They came in loose and played very well. In fact, led by 14 or 15 before Chicago went on a fourth-quarter run and pulled the game out and won the series right there.
Well, I do think there's some similarities here because Chicago feels pretty much assured, though they won't say it, that they have this series wrapped up. And sometimes when you go and win on the road and then come back and got to play at home, you lose a little bit of that extra drive, that hunger. I think Chicago has done that. They've turned the ball over. They haven't been as well on the defensive end of the court, and that's what's got them in this 2-0 position. They've got to guard people better.
Let's go to Chuck Daly, who's standing by at his home in New Jersey. Chuck, if you were Paul Westphal and somebody told you that Charles Barkley with the injured elbow would have 9 points in the first half, but you'd still lead by 1 on the road, you'd have to be both surprised and thrilled.
Yeah, I'd be very excited about it, but what normally happens in something like this, when a great player like Barkley is out, maybe Jordan doesn't buy in, maybe Scottie doesn't buy in, but 1 or 2 of your players buy in that maybe we don't have as difficult a time, because I thought they played very frantically in Phoenix to win.
When the Lakers won back-to-back, they beat you in 1988 by the narrowest of margins. Then you won back-to-back, and for the first of their 2 titles, the Bulls had to knock your Pistons off to move on. How do you compare these Chicago Bulls, in the minds of most, on their way to 3 in a row, with your Detroit team and the Laker team you both lost to and defeated along the way?
Well, I think both of the previous teams, Detroit and Los Angeles, failed because of injuries. L.A. had both guards injured. We had Isaiah and some other people beat up. They seem to be reasonably healthy. They're a much younger club, and they've got, you know, Superman prevailing at his best.
Chuck, You play with Michael quite a bit this summer. Tell the people at home what it's like to be with this guy and how competitive it is and how much of that you think he puts into trying to three-peat, how important it is to him.
Well, I don't think we've ever quite seen anyone. I know everybody in our business is competitive at every level, but he has some special qualities. His competitiveness rises above, and then he's blessed with all of these gifts that makes him a very, very special and maybe the best player of all time.
Chuck, let's talk about your ball club and especially the tragic loss of Drazen Petrovic. Have you had a chance to gather your thoughts about this yet?
Well, a little bit. At first, when it hits you, you don't want to believe it. And then a certain amount of despair and distress and depression sets in. Then the realism starts to envelop you and your organization. It's something we're having a commemorative situation tomorrow night in New York. We need to get the grief behind us as an organization. This was a kid that, worked very hard to get where he was, very competitive. A lot of people don't realize he was named to one of the top 15 players in the NBA this year, third team All-NBA, and he did it sheerly on his own ability. A tremendous individual. I think we'll all remember his smile.
Of course, we think first of his loss in human terms, but it's also had an effect on your roster, and the composition of your team has changed drastically since you first arrived the season before this one. Terry Mills gone. Mookie Blaylock traded for Ramil Robinson. Now he may be gone. Chris Dudley, an unrestricted free agent, and the death of Drazen Petrovic. This presents a much different challenge than what you might have expected a short time ago for you.
Yeah, I would say so. When I came here in September, we were hopeful of having all of these people, including Dudley, in our lineup. Right now, we're struggling to do that, and going to have to do a lot of evaluating, I think, with this roster, and a lot of work.
Chuck, as always, a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, when we come back, we'll be joined by the insiders, Peter Vesey and Bill Walton, as we talk a bit more about the Suns and the Bulls. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. B.J. Armstrong, it's all yours.
B.J. Armstrong, a couple years ago, he told me that if he was in Phoenix, he'd be KJ. The first couple games of this series, if he were in Chicago, if KJ were in Chicago, he'd be Corey Williams. I mean, the difference in this guy's game in the last couple of years is unbelievable, and nobody thought he'd get this far. It's made the Bulls a much more resourceful club because it gives them one more guy on the break. He's making great decisions. He's learned an awful lot from Paxson. He's now able to spot up, and Michael Jordan knows now to look for him, and BJ is not afraid to take the big shots when Jordan's in the game.
All right, now, Bill Walton has been caged up through the first two games. This is his first appearance of the finals, so naturally, he wants to come out with a strong point. And even though the Suns lead by 1 at the half, you say...
This series is over, Bob. It's been over since the first quarter of the first game when the Bulls realized that they could score at any time and shut down the Suns anytime they wanted to. The Bulls have been playing the clock ever since the first quarter of game 1. But the difference with B.J. Armstrong and Scottie Pippen and the rest of the Bulls is that they have learned how to play from Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen, his outside shot has taken his game to new levels, higher levels than he's ever been to before. And B.J. Armstrong, his ability to create, put the ball in the hole, and do the things and play at a level that Michael Jordan has taught them how to do. No other player in the league is teaching their teammates right now.
And now a word of agreement or dissent.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. But as you know, guys, I'm more interested on the defensive end of the court. I don't think there's any question about it. That's probably what surprised people the most. Phoenix was the highest scoring team in the league, and they don't look like it against the Bulls because the Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen cover as well as anybody that plays basketball, and they're going to three-peat, and you do it with defense.
But it is the Suns over the Bulls by 1 at halftime of game 3, and we'll turn it back to Marv, Mike, and Magic for the call of the second half as you gentlemen settle back in, as you've done through most of the series, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind.
Back in Chicago, Marv Albert, Magic Johnson, Mike Fratello. Halftime, the Phoenix Suns 58, Chicago Bulls 57. We talked about it during the course of the first half. The difference for Phoenix, the play of Kevin Johnson, ineffective over the first 2 games, Magic, but effective here thus far.
Well, I think Kevin has read the situation. He's gotten into the flow of the game. Remember, we talked about at the top that he has to get in transition. They've been doing that. And I think the key to him is, too, that he's feeling confident right now. You can see it. He's strutting, he's playing, and that's only going to help the Phoenix Suns.
And Mike, as our defensive coordinator here on the telecast, I know you can relate to the fact that Chicago's defense has not been what it was over the first 2 games in Phoenix. The end result, Phoenix shooting 56% from the field in that first half.
I would have a good idea that down in the locker room right now, Phil Jackson talked to the team about the pressure, the number of turnovers that are being produced by the defense. Shooting 56%, no way they will win that way. First 2 games combined, they had them at 46%. Significant jump. And the other thing, 1 free throw attempt for the Chicago Bulls as compared to 13 for Phoenix.
All right, a look at the halftime statistics. Tonight's Miller Genuine Draft halftime stats. You see the shooting. Phoenix 23 of 41 for the 56%. Chicago at 50%, 26 for 52. And Michael Jordan leading the way, 10 of 16. He is the high point man with 22. And Mike, as you mentioned, the disparity at the free throw line. Phoenix 9 for 13, and Chicago going to the line only once. And look at Charles Barkley, bothered by the injured elbow, 2 for 5 for 9 points. Let's go over to Hannah, who was alongside Phoenix coach Paul Westphal.
Well, Paul, you predicted that KJ would come alive in this series, and certainly he did today. He played the entire first half. Is he going to go the distance, play all 48 minutes?
I'll probably have to rest him there sometime, but KJ's too good a player to stay down long, and we knew he'd come back.
The Bulls aren't shooting well, but they're staying in this game with the offensive boards. They have 11 offensive rebounds. Did you talk about rebounding at all?
Well, we always talk about rebounding. They did a great job, and BJ hit some big shots for them, but I like the way we're playing.
You pleased with the way the team has responded with Charles Barkley only with 9 points and some significant time on the bench?
Well, we have a good team besides Charles, and he's hurting right now with his elbow, but he's finding other ways to help us, and our other guys are playing well.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Good luck in the second half. By the way, Marv, I talked to Charles and asked him how he was feeling. He said, I'm not hitting my shots, but I'm hanging in there. Marv? All
right, Hannah, Barkley played 18 minutes in the first half, 3 out of 6 from the field, a total of 9 points. Suns lead by 1. We'll be right back. They lead by 1. Earlier, we showed you that Phoenix over games 1 and 2 had led for only 3 minutes and 54 seconds total time the first 2 games. Well, tonight, they have had the lead for what this is worth, 15 minutes and 20 seconds of the 24 minutes in the first half.
Playing from behind all the time, so obviously Phoenix very happy with the way this first half has gone.
But Phoenix has to be happy because they've been doing it on both ends of the court, especially on the offensive end with Kevin Johnson leading the way, but also some other guys that stepped up their game. Dumas is playing a solid game, as well as Mark West playing a good game defensively.
Yes, West with 6 points, but he's contributed in the block shot department. Dumas high man for Phoenix with 15 after seeing limited action in the second half on Friday night. Richard Dumas 6 of 12 from the floor. Charles Barkley testing the elbow. So we're set for the third quarter. It's game 3 of the best of 7. Game 4 here in Chicago on Wednesday. We'll be on air starting 9 o'clock Eastern time, and game 5 if necessary here in Chicago next Friday starting at 9 in the East. Johnson with the step. So Kevin Johnson extends to a 3-point Phoenix lead.
See, as a former player, Paul Westphal said, hey, I'm going to ride you all the way out, KJ. You're going to win it or lose it for us. Great move by Paul Westphal to play him the whole first half, and let's see if he can continue this solid play, that being KJ in the second half.
Scottie Pippen off the pick. Good screen sent by Bill Cartwright. The Suns 60 and the Bulls 59. And Phoenix with Barkley, Dumas and West up front, Marley and Johnson at the guards. West set up by Dumas. Art West with his 3rd field goal.
They are reading the double teams. It's not the first pass that's going to beat the double team. It's the second and third pass after the ball comes out of the top that counts.
Michael Jordan not able to hit on the three, but a second opportunity. Horace Grant has not had the playing time after getting in foul trouble. He's playing with 3 personals. B.J. Armstrong has had the hot hand. Now Jordan posting up. Oh, very friendly rim for Michael.
Well, he's at home. You know, he knows these rims here in the Chicago Stadium.
24 points for Jordan. The Suns lead by 1. Barkley with the pick. Johnson on the penetration. Here comes Pippen. 4-on-3. Pippen all the way. And it will be Phoenix ball.
Michael Jordan waits till the ball is reversed, then knows he has the size advantage. Don't give anybody a chance to come over and help out. Just get it up on that rim over the top of KJ and then get a little luck on the rolls.
Kevin Johnson began his move at 3-quarter court and was held by B.J. Armstrong. That's 3 on Armstrong.
Try to keep him off balance, change of pace dribble, suddenly go hard to the basket. B.J. doesn't move his feet fast enough to foul.
Barkley backing Grant. Love to pick up number 4 on Horace Grant. It is a 3-second violation on Mark West.
Not sure that everybody is happy with that call after the 3-second whistle. Charles Barkley, a little bit of frustration shown.
Cartwright, yes. 8 points for Cartwright. The Bulls lead by 1. And you'll notice that Phoenix has gone back to the matchups, the unusual matchups that we saw at the start of the game. Johnson thought he had Marley, but Marley had moved to his left. It's a backcourt violation.
Let's see what happened was Dan Marley stopped moving. KJ thought he was going to come around for like a semi handoff for the 3 where he faded to the corner, and that caused a turnover.
And Michael Jordan can do that to you. Make you think you want to go one way and instead change your mind, make you go the other way, and kind of throws him at a sink.
4th turnover committed by Kevin Johnson. Cartwright. He was looking for a foul. Dumas tried to save it, but stepped out. Bill Cartwright not happy with that last sequence. He thought there should have been a foul called and had some words with Darryl Garrison. And the matchup continues. Barkley and Cartwright. Charles at about 6'4" going up against the 7'1" Cartwright. Michael Jordan off. He thought he was fouled. Well, he was hacked by Marley. Oh, the crowd wanted the travel. And a reach-in call. Foul on Pippen. That's 3 on Pippen.
You got a lot of upset players out here. Now you're going to see a reach-in by Pippen. First, Barkley cleared some space. The crowd right there wanted a traveling on Barkley. Didn't get it, but it got a foul on Pippen.
3 apiece on Pippen and Grant. Johnson, a forced shot. West. Or was that a pass intended by Kevin Johnson? But Mark West able to put it home.
Sure, Kevin would like you to call on a pass.
Suns 64 and the Bulls 63 with 4 minutes gone by in the 3rd. Horace Grant with his 2nd field goal. He's been quiet tonight because of the foul problem.
And there's the missing factor for Chicago in the first half. The fact that he had to go to the bench with 3 personal fouls. They need him back on the floor for a number of reasons. Defense, rebounding, shot blocking, and those points that he gives.
Oh, what a second effort. Dumas forced the issue on that first thrust and then was able to tip it home. And the Suns lead by 1. He is is on fire. 17 for B.J. Armstrong. He's hit 8 of 11. Bulls by 1. Once again, Armstrong got picked off by West. Took a pretty good shot.
Well, what he's doing, Marv, he's letting B.J. get around him, that being Mark West, then give him a shot after he gets by him.
Dumas with a pretty move, but not complete it. There's Pippen going all the way. Paul Westphal wants to talk it over.
Come up and pressure KJ, and the crowd is upset because this shot right there by that right elbow by Mark West, every time he sets the pick on BJ gets a shot afterwards.
How about the combination of Armstrong and Jordan? They've combined 19 for 30 from the field for a total of 41 points. Here's some light pressure shown by the Bulls. Chicago leads by 3. Dumas, well, what a move, but could not complete it. And again, Pippen on the open floor. Jordan for 3. Michael Jordan with his third three-pointer. The Bulls lead 72-66. 6:25 to go. Third quarter. Charles Barkley obviously not himself. Playing in pain with that injured right elbow. Shot clock at 2. Marley fires and hits. Three-pointer from beyond area code range for Dan Marley.
What a shot. It reminded me of the one when he hit 8 in the game against Seattle. The same thing happened. He got a long 3. Here's a pretty fast break right here. Michael Jordan spots up for the 3. Pippen recognized. Michael knocks it down. Then Marley comes right back and a deep three-pointer. Good.
We see that same thing happen in the first half. Jordan hits a 3. Marley comes right back and hits a 3 at the other end. This is like you do what I do it.
Ricky Dumas called for that foul, a non-shooting foul. So Chicago with the new 24. Scottie Pippen is 6 of 14. Barkley. Magic, much can happen with 5.5 remaining in this third quarter, but can they reach the point where the Suns are better off with Barkley on the bench in this situation?
Well, not really. Right now, you can't give up on him this early. You have to see what he can give you. I still say put him on the block, post him up, and then let the double team come. They've been effective with him passing out of the double team. Let's see if that happens here.
Here it is with Barkley trying to back in and then throws it back out. Marley had it knocked away by Pippen.
To show you how much Charles has been bothered by the elbow, he's been averaging just over 20 shots a game in the playoffs. In the 19 playoff games up to this point, or 20 playoff games up to this point, he has only 7 shot attempts. So like you said, use him as a decoy. Put him down there. And that time, if Marley would have thrown one more pass to the deep right corner, he had an open teammate that just given up on swinging the ball one pass too early.
Tom Chambers has checked back in along with Danny Ainge, who gets right to it, hitting the 3. And Phoenix is 5 for 6 from downtown. The Bulls 74, the Suns 72 with just under 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Grant played by Barkley. Pippen. Scott Williams with the rebound. Horace Grant. Bulls by 4. Now Barkley guarded by Williams. Barkley, yes. Nice move by Charles Barkley. He now has 11, and the Suns are down by 2.
Madge had to find a way of getting himself a little bit of space to get a look at that, so it took a couple fakes either way, then the step back to get it. Watch this battle under the glass between the two stars. Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan under the basket as the shot goes up. Jordan keeps it alive by jumping in Barkley, then turns and boxes him out hard at the end.
Grant getting good position, and he's pushed from behind. Pushed by Barkley using both hands.
Exactly. You can't do that this year. You cannot put your hands in the player's back. They made that rule up way before this season, and it's taken a lot of post play away from a lot of players, especially on the defensive end.
Just under 4 minutes left in the third. Chicago with the ball. They lead by 2. Pippen. Oh, rejected. Chambers over to help. Got a piece of it. Here's Chambers. Met by Jordan. And a foul. Michael Jordan committing his second.
You don't see Tom Chambers block too many shots straight up, but when you let him come from the offside, rotate over defensively, he'll get one occasionally. Then Jordan goes for the swipe right there, a little bit too much on.
Third team foul on Chicago. Phoenix with 2. Barkley working down low. Pippen with the block. Pippen got a piece of it. Scottie Pippen has come up with a number of key block shots during the playoffs. Jordan. Johnson wanted a run, but the Bulls got back. Now Johnson to the left hand. Too much dribble. Kevin Johnson coughed it up. Here's Pippen. Foul. It counts.
Scottie Pippen doing it at both ends of the floor. First, the willingness to come over and help your teammate out. Scott Williams was calling for help. Scottie Pippen comes up with the block and supplies it. And then the pitch ahead in transition. Ainge tries to stop the layup. Not strong enough. Pippen converts, and now we'll go to the foul line.
After the play happened, Danny Ainge was upset with himself for not grabbing Scottie Pippen's arms and stop Scottie from at least getting a shot up.
Ainge with his third, only his second free throw attempt for the Bulls. In 33 minutes of play, they went to the line only twice. Chicago leads by 5. Chambers, yes. The Bulls 79 and the Suns 76. It has been a very good shooting ball game. 2:40 to go in the third. Pippen putting the move on Marvin. Grant able to hang in and then deflected it out of bounds. The Bulls call for time with 2:25 remaining in the third. Came up with a block shot. Remember, Scottie Pippen has done it in the category of block shots. Big ones against Charles Smith at the end of Game 5 in New York. And the other day in Game 2, the block on Danny Ainge, three-point attempt with 26 seconds remaining. And the block on Barkley as he got a piece of it for his third rejection of the night. So Scottie Pippen doing it in all departments, although he has not shot well. He has 16 points along with the 6 rebounds and 3 block shots. Bulls with a 79-76 lead. It is Phoenix ball with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third. Kevin Johnson with a good-looking drive. Johnson has 16. It is a 1-point Chicago lead.
Now, in those replays, we made Scottie Pippen look like a shot block machine. During the regular season, he had 73 in 81 games, so not quite 1 per game. But he gets big ones when they need him the most.
And here's Jordan for 3. Rebound Pippen. Scottie Pippen also getting big rebounds when the Bulls have needed them. He has stepped up in a major way during the course of the playoffs. Chicago by 3.
You see what Chicago is doing? They're letting Charles Barkley have those open shots, jump shots, but not inside shots.
Shot clock down to 7. gets inside. Pippen on the follow.
He's got Danny Ainge guarding him. That's the reason why you see Pippen around the glass. Last time with an offensive rebound, this time on a post-up. Chicago, as we said last game, one of the smartest, if not smartest in the league, as Marley hits a three-pointer. They see the mismatch. They go to it, the Chicago Bulls.
Dan Marley on fire from three-point land. And the Bulls now lead 83-81. That's 4 three-pointers for Marley. And the ball goes back to Phoenix with 44 seconds left in the quarter.
With Ainge trying to guard him, Pippen goes to the offensive boards. He's trying to do the things that he can do to help the basketball team win.
Marley for three again. Dan Marley, who hit 8 in one game against Seattle for an NBA playoff record, has just hit his fifth. And the Suns lead 84-83. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter as Michael Jordan has given the Bulls a 1-point lead.
You see what happened is, Marv, is Michael Jordan is on Danny Ainge. That's why Marley has had a lot of room to shoot those three-pointers.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Jordan came over, and the foul has been called. With 2 and 8/10 seconds remaining, a good foul by Jordan to stop the flow. They had a foul to give.
And there's number 5 by Dan Marley. And he holds the record for three-pointers in a game, 8 in one game. Paul Westphal very happy with it. That's a playoff record of 8 three-pointers in one game by Dan Marley.
Tonight he's 5 of 6 from downtown. Here's Barkley getting it off. Yes! Charles Barkley with 4/10 of a second remaining in the quarters, giving the Suns a 1-point lead. Johnson off the intercept after 3 here in Chicago. The Suns look to be a sparked-up club. They lead the Bulls by the score of 86-85.
Probably the best thing that could have happened with the time running out. Charles just gets it up there, doesn't think about his elbow a whole lot, and winds up shooting his best-looking jumper of the evening.
3 quarters complete. Phoenix by 1. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
Balls of fire.
Deep round, great block. Jackson, incredible pass.
Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, balls of fire.
John and Lisa premieres Monday on NBC.
There are times, Andy said, when it's best to play.
Fourth quarter, they're trailing in the best of 7, 2 games to nothing. They lead the Bulls 86-85 as they desperately seek a victory. Looking to make it 2 games to 1 with a game 4 here in Chicago on Wednesday. Charles Barkley, despite the injured elbow, did contribute in the third quarter. He'll sit down right here. Phoenix with Ainge, Johnson, Marley, West, and Miller on the floor.
And as Phil Jackson has done a number of times and in the finals thus far, given Michael Jordan the necessary blow to begin the fourth quarter. He's played 32 of the 36 minutes to this point. He's resting right now. Hopefully we'll be able to finish strong for the Chicago Bulls.
And on the other side of that, KJ for the Phoenix Suns have played all 36 minutes of this game.
John Paxson and Trent Tucker have come on for Chicago. On the floor with King, Williams, and Pippen. Shot clock at 4. Shot clock at 2. Pippen has to fling it. And a break for the Bulls. Last touch by Marley. Chicago with the new 24. Scott Williams. Oh! Rebounded by Oliver Miller. And Johnson. 18 for Johnson.
I look for Kevin to go for his offense right now because he has a strong man guard in him and Trent Tucker to watch him going maybe into his offensive game.
Suns 88, the Bulls 85. Michael Jordan sitting it out right here. He'll be ready for the stretch run. Jordan, the high man, with 29. Holding foul committed by Trent Tucker.
Actually, neither one of these guards in the backcourt should be able to guard KJ off the dribble, whether it's Trent Tucker, who has to hold so he doesn't get down the lane there, or if it's Paxson. If they create the situation for him, KJ should be able to get the step to get by him. Then what happens after that, that's what remains to be seen.
6 assists for Kevin Johnson, all in the first half, along with 5 turnovers. And Johnson was fouled by Paxson.
See, this is the move. This is a great move by Coach Paul Westphal. Look, I got my quickest man out on the court, and they have 2 slow guards on the court. We're going to go at those slow guards. Here's a replay here where Paxson couldn't do anything but grab him, but I like this right here. Plus, Kevin is feeling it. He wants to redeem himself for those other 2 games, and he's having that opportunity right now in the fourth quarter.
Magic, they've gone back again to setting that screen with different personnel. It's either Ainge who sets it, or that time Marley set it. They're trying to take advantage of which guy they want to wind up having to guard KJ. They wanted Tucker. Tucker didn't want to switch. Paxson was late getting over. KJ turns the corner.
Loose ball foul on Miller. First team foul committed by the Suns. They lead 89-85 with a minute and a half gone by fourth quarter. Phil Jackson will make the decision as to when he will reinsert Michael Jordan. Michael getting the rest. Paxson. Suns 89, Bulls 87. Paxson hitting on his first field goal attempt. With the pick for Kevin Johnson. Yes. Kevin Johnson has hit on 9 of 14. The Suns lead by 4. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Scottie Pippen. Again, the Bulls control the offensive board. King rejected. Johnson fouled by Paxson. Paxson called for his third. 9:41 remaining of the fourth. Timeout taken. A little warm-up. Games 1 and 2 in the first quarter, averaging 5.5, then 9 points per quarter. And second and third quarter, he's averaged 13 points in the fourth quarter of games 1 and 2. He is about to make his way back onto the floor after sitting it out. I talked with Michael earlier about what the mindset is as he looks to take over in the fourth quarter of games.
You can sense that the opposition is a little nervous, a little tense, inexperienced, and you've been there before, so that experience and that maturity has helped out a whole lot. That now you got to go in for the kill.
And Magic, you have been there before on several occasions.
Well, that's the winning time, what I call it, and that's when you have to take over as a player and try to win the game almost by yourself, and that's what Michael has been doing.
Darrell Garrison calling the foul on Oliver Miller, his third.
As they try to come around for an outside handoff, Miller turns the body, and it's enough to be called an offensive foul as Tucker tries to get over the top.
9.5 left in the game. Suns 91, Bulls 87. Jordan is back. He and Paxson and Tucker at the guards with Grant and King as the big men. Shot clock at 7. Jordan. Grant with the rebound. And Ainge gets to it. Crowd wanted a foul with Grant hitting the floor, but the Bulls continue to dominate the offensive boards. Good look from Kevin Johnson. He's fouled by Horace Grant. That's 4 on Grant.
That happened because Grant was on the ground at the other end of the floor. After he goes up and gets the rebound and starts to go back up and the shot is blocked, he lays there West takes off and goes down the floor. He's trying to catch up, but they catch him too late. West with the shot attempt gets fouled.
And that is team foul number 4 for Chicago, while the Suns have only one. Mark West, not a good free throw shooter, although he hit his first 2. Here's Charles Barkley replacing Oliver Miller.
Phoenix went for a stretch there with their 2 big men, Oliver Miller and Mark West, their 2 best shot blockers. West had 103 shot blocks for the regular season. Miller, in much fewer games, had 100 block shots, and they changed a lot of the Chicago attempts.
But Phoenix slowed the game down. See, they're taking the crowd right out of this game, and they're doing a good job on their execution on offense as well.
Jordan slicing his way, and he's fouled, and he took a pretty good shot. Did not appreciate it.
They called an open floor set. Phil Jackson motions with his arms out wide, which means spread the floor, and you give it to Michael. He gets a full head of steam coming at you, and it's hard for the defense to close back down. As West came over, Jordan was poked in the eye.
Well, he didn't like it up until he saw it with Charles Barkley. He said, okay, I'm going to let it go this time. That being Michael Jordan, he just said, okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, we talked about that right before game 1. How friendships can play out during the course of a series. You mentioned the example of you and Isaiah Thomas. People checking you out. Teammates wanted to see if you would allow Isaiah to drive the lane. Would you knock him down? Well, Charles with a hard foul on Michael Jordan.
Well, they know that they can be friends after this series is over, but not right now.
Johnson set up by Barkley. Kevin Johnson has dramatically turned, and he's given the Suns a 94-88 lead.
It's exactly what Magic talked about. Post Charles up. All he needs is 1 or 2 dribbles to draw the double team, then pass.
And here comes Johnson. Goes 1 for 9 in the 4th quarter. Ainge pushed. Michael Jordan called for his 4th foul. And it also puts the Bulls over the limit.
Sometimes a little bit of frustration can set in when you get to the front of the rim and you just don't get the roll. You're not able to convert the basket attempt. And then in that case, it sets Phoenix off to doing what they like to do best, and that's get in transition and run.
See, this is the best I've seen the Phoenix Suns play in the playoffs. And I was wondering when that Phoenix Suns team was going to come back and play like they did during the regular season. And in this game, they're playing like they did in the regular season. They're running, gunning, shooting, playing freely. And that's why they're leading this ball game, because they're playing at their pace, which is the fast pace.
B.J. Armstrong checking in. And hearing it from the crowd as Trent Tucker departs. So it's Armstrong with Paxson and Jordan as they stay on the 3-guard alignment. Danny Ainge, one of the best free throw shooters in the league, 85% during the season. And the Suns now lead 96-88.
I think Phil Jackson has his 3-point assault team out there. Give Jordan the ball, put Paxson and BJ on the wings, see if he creates some shots for them.
Suns have outscored the Bulls 10-3 in this 4th quarter. 4 minutes gone by. Shot clock down to 6. Shot clock at 3. Jordan for 3. Way off, forced into a very difficult shot. Barkley pops it down. Ainge shooting for 3. Yes! Danny Ainge converts from downtown, and the Suns lead at 99-88. The Bulls take a timeout with 7:33 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Takes a lot of courage, and Danny Ainge is not afraid to take a big shot. Instead of taking it to the hole where you get a higher percentage shot, he steps back behind the 3-point line. Barkley, who fired the outlet pass, loves it.
And the Bulls are now trailing by 11.
What if my face wasn't on TV every other second? What if there wasn't a crowd around every corner? What if I was just a basketball player? Can you imagine it? I can.
Hitting 398 3-point shots. Not able to do it from 3-point land in games 1 and 2. But check out tonight. 8 of 10 from downtown. Marley is 5 for 6. Ames just hit from deep in the corner, and the Suns now lead 99-88. The Bulls are only 1 for 10 from the field here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I'm going to say something that fans probably can't relate to, but this is a more relaxed Phoenix Suns team than they were at home. And sometimes when you're struggling, body right there by Kevin Johnson, sometimes when you're struggling, you want to get on the road because you're more focused and you don't have to worry about that pressure of trying to win at home.
The call here, the block on KJ. He felt that Michael turned right back into him, that he was in perfect position. The Phoenix team obviously very upset over that last call.
And you guys feel it's self-imposed pressure because the Phoenix crowd is not one of the tougher crowds to play before. I mean, you're not talking in New York or Chicago where Philadelphia, when things were going well, where they could be very, very difficult. Phoenix very compassionate.
Yeah, it's not the crowd because the fans in Phoenix love their team, but as a player sometimes you play like you're supposed to win at home. And right now they're playing, they know they have to get out and run and do the thing they're supposed to do.
Right off the steal, Pippen, set up by Jordan, cuts it to a 9-point Phoenix lead. It appeared for a moment that Phoenix was going to call a 20-second timeout.
Paul Westphal was up signaling for a 20-second timeout right after that basket. They never saw him. Instead, they're up the floor.
Marley eluding Pippen. Yes, Dan Marley. 7 of 10. He has 19. The Suns 101 and the Bulls 90. Michael Jordan given some room, but he's off now since making his return. Last touch by Phoenix. Now Dick Pavetta changes the call. He's called a loose ball foul. It's on Barkley, his 4th.
And there's no sense in Charles Barkley getting upset and causing any more problems. Accept it, move on with the basketball game. Don't pick up a technical right now. Turn this staff, crew of officials against you.
Phoenix with its 4th team foul. Bulls already over the limit. Pippen for Grant. Phoenix 101. Chicago 92. 5:40 remaining. Fourth quarter.
Magic, is it too early for time and shot clock management, or do you start to go into it right now?
No, you don't. You got to keep playing aggressive like they're doing right here. That's what got you the lead.
3-point attempt by Ames went way short. Here is Armstrong. And now the Suns will call for time. Phoenix by 7 with 5:14 left in the game.
The Suns are feeling the heat. Game 4 Wednesday night.
This Miller moment takes us back to the 1980 finals when a rookie named Magic Johnson was forced to play center for the injured Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The end result, 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists as the Lakers beat the Philadelphia 76ers. 4 games to 2. Magic became the first rookie in NBA history to be named the MVP of the finals. Magic, what stands out most about that game?
Well, I think what stands out most is that I sat in Kareem's seat, rode all the way. I said, never fear, Kareem will still be here. Not expecting I would have that many points in the game, though.
And in recognition of that moment, Miller Genuine Draft donates $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. The Suns lead by 7. They've led by as many as 11. Just under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Barkley to the fadeaway. Rebounded by Pippen. The Suns desperately trying to get back into the series. Michael Jordan is now 0 for 5 in the fourth quarter. So Michael has not, to this point, been able to take over.
Phoenix very lucky. Barkley's late on the rotation. He should leave and go earlier. He comes over late. But because Michael brings it down, he's able to get a piece on the way back up again.
And Jordan, 3 of 13 from the field in the second half. Marley steps back
The shot maybe didn't go down, but I like the ball movement, the idea of making the extra pass right now for Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, Phoenix is playing very well offensively. They're really executing their offense very well at the half-court end.
Suns by 7. Jordan going glass. Phoenix 101. Chicago 96. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the game. Suns desperately trying to get back into the series, trailing 2 games to nothing. Chambers facing a double team. Chambers lost it. Pippen with the stutter step. Pippen recovered by Williams.
Magic, I think they've got to take KJ off of Mike. I don't think they can keep going with it down the stretch here.
They try to post up. Jordan stopped. Chambers over to help. Jordan thought he was fouled. Last touch by Phoenix. It'll be Chicago ball with 6 on the 24.
Well, here it is. Tom Chambers came over. I think he's the one who really blocked it and knocked it out of bounds.
And the Bulls take a 20-second timeout. Well, this is game 3 of the best of 7. The first 2 played in Phoenix, both won by Chicago. Recapping in game 1, it was 31 points for Jordan, 27 for Pippen. The Bulls opened up, shooting 64% from the field, and they won it 100-92. And then game 2 on Friday night, 42 points apiece for Jordan and Barkley. Pippen had a triple-double. Jordan was 1 assist away from a triple-double, and the Bulls won it in a terrific game, 111-108. And here tonight, the Suns have led most of the way, despite the fact that Charles Barkley has played with an injured elbow. Kevin Johnson has turned it around, and Pippen could not find anyone, and to avoid the 5-second violation, he has taken a full timeout.
Let's go back to that last shot by Michael Jordan, which he felt he was fouled on. Phoenix saw the post-up. Chambers came over right away to double team, and as Michael releases, it looks like Chambers does hit him just below the wrist area.
So the Bulls have 2 timeouts left. The Suns 3 and a 20.
All right.
At least his hands were comfortable.
Only PowerBook is designed to fit the way you work. PowerBook from Apple.
The Suns have certainly had their difficulties in the fourth quarter, games 1 and 2. They were blank down the stretch. And tonight, they have not been able to hit a field goal the last 2 minutes and 52 seconds. They are clinging to a 5-point lead. Suns 101 and the Bulls 96 with 3:27 remaining in the fourth quarter. It is Chicago ball with 6 on the shot clock. And Pippen will throw in. Oh, Pippen threw it off the back of the net. What a play! He fooled the Suns.
Well, what happened was they read what Danny Ainge was doing last time, and he just decided to throw it off of him, get it back, and dunk it.
Oh, that's a play that we will be seeing over and over. A heads-up move by the Bulls. That's a kick ball, so they get the new 24.
If the man guarding the basketball turns his back to you, bounce it off him, step in bounds, get it back, pass to yourself. Nice job by Scottie Pippen.
See, because the last time Danny Ainge had caused that timeout by Scottie, and they read that and came right out with it.
Chicago in the midst of an 8-0 run. We're down to 3 minutes left in the game. 3-point Phoenix lead. Chambers. Rebound Jordan. Jordan with the pull-up. The tip by Grant. Horace Grant brings Chicago within 1.
Magic said it before. You've got to continue to play to win. You can't play not to lose. You have to assert yourself, still be aggressive, get good shots, and execute.
Barkley to the reverse. And Charles Barkley did execute to give the Suns a 103-100 lead. Jordan and the tip missed by Williams. Barkley protecting the rebound.
You can lose possession of the basketball. You keep swinging those elbows. You've got to be careful. a good job ball faking. You know he's going to drive right. That's where he wants to go all the time. Pippen anticipates it, slides over in front.
And here's Barkley's reaction. I don't know if he was reacting to the call, but what happened was he wanted Tom Chambers to kick it to the open man when Pippen had left.
Suns lead by 3. Bulls trying to make it 3-0 in the best of 7. Suns trying to cut it to a 2-1. Chicago lead with Game 4 coming up here on Wednesday night. Minute 35 to go, fourth quarter. Jordan sets up Grant. And the foul.
Well, you talk about Michael Jordan. He can do it all. He's going to go baseline this time. Take all the double teaming. Find Horace Grant. Slam dunk by Horace Grant. And this crowd is going crazy.
Mark West called for the foul. Horace Grant very quietly early going in foul trouble has come on strong down the stretch. 3-point play. Game tied 103. Charles Barkley trying to settle his team down as Grant was lining up for the foul shot. And now Phoenix calling for a timeout. A minute 27 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's the Bulls back from an 11-point deficit, tying the game at 103.
NBA titles. It's the official NBA World Championship video. Relive all the high-flying action and behind-the-scenes drama. It's your ticket to the 1993 Finals. To order your copy of this special video, call 1-800-NBA-DUNK. That's 1-800-NBA-DUNK. Tuesday.
Quickly pick up the ball and lay it up. The adjustment made in the timeout. Pippen takes advantage of it. Maybe the biggest basket of the game for Chicago in turning this thing around.
That's a future Miller moment, as Scottie Pippen is able to pull off a play that, if Chicago can come from behind and pull out the victory, a play that will be long remembered. The game tied at 103 with a minute and 27 remaining fourth quarter.
Now, Phoenix must be aggressive now. They stopped being aggressive, and that's why this basketball game is tied. They must now attack, and stop standing around watching Charles Barkley, and somebody else must step up now.
A subtle adjustment right now. Michael Jordan is guarding Kevin Johnson. They put the best defensive player in the league on the guy that's hurting him the most, Kevin Johnson. Michael Jordan's job, shut him down.
A 20-second timeout was called by Phoenix to make the adjustment. A reminder tonight, right here on NBC after the game, don't miss Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt in a special telecast of the comedy Mad About You, and then the critically acclaimed Law and Order. That's coming up tonight here on NBC. Timeouts remaining, 2 apiece. Phoenix and Chicago each have their 2 full timeouts left, and Marley will throw in once again. Shot clock at 15. Ainge just hit the floor in a collision. Barkley called for a traveling violation.
Phoenix tried to run a play coming out of that timeout. The play was destroyed when the players collided and fell to the floor. Barkley was left with the basketball, shuffles the feet as he tries to elude the taller, bigger Horace Grant.
A 13-2 Chicago run after they had struggled earlier. They had hit only 1 of 10 at one point from the field. Here is Jordan. Rebound tip missed by Williams. Scott Williams mistimed, and here come the Suns. Just under 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter, and a call now against Phoenix. Offensive foul. It's called on Miller. Oliver Miller hit with the offensive foul. A huge call.
Phoenix very lucky here that the ball does not get tipped in by Scott Williams, who keeps it alive, but then an offensive foul call on Oliver Miller as Phoenix came down with an offensive possession.
Michael Jordan 1 for 10 here in the fourth quarter. Has not been able to get going. Draws the double team and gives it up. Pippen with an air ball. last touched by the Bulls. So both teams have had their opportunities here down the stretch, and the Suns take a timeout. So they will be down to one timeout left. It is desperation time for the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix.
Marv, I think what's happening here is that the travel time has caught up with both teams, because, you know, they only had one day in between games. They flew all the way from Phoenix, and we had a well-played game until this quarter, but I think both of them, the legs are tired, and they're starting to feel it, both teams.
10 shot attempts for the quarter means that, one, you're either getting fouled a whole lot, or two, you got a whole lot of turnovers taking place there, which means the other team is coming down, or 28-10 difference means that Chicago's pounding you on the offensive boards. A very big call against Phoenix, coming down with possession, and Paul Westphal is encouraging, hurry up, get into the offense. The left elbow in the lane area by Oliver Miller against Stacey King, called for the offensive foul.
This capacity crowd urging the Bulls on. 35, 7/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bulls and the Suns tied at 103.
Phoenix has had problems getting the ball inbounds and getting into what they want to run because of Chicago's aggressive defense.
Ainge will throw in. Kevin Johnson. Rebounded by Michael Jordan. There's a 2-second disparity between time remaining and the 24. The Bulls and Suns tied at 103, and Johnson steals from Jordan. Here's Barley. But they may have called a timeout. That won't count.
Oh, what happened was that Paul Westphal saw that Dan Marley was streaking down the court. He said, no, KJ, don't call the timeout. Dan Marley is down court. And it was too late.
Did a player on the floor take the timeout as KJ comes up with it? There's the timeout call right there by KJ. Good call. Coach can't call the timeout on the sideline. It must come from a player on the floor. So KJ called it at first. Then Paul said, somebody's down the floor. Hurry up and get it to him. But KJ took the timeout. Paul knows it right there. Does he call it? No question about it. Timeout? No. Wait, let me turn and throw it down the floor.
Kind of a half-hearted, but he did gave the indication. That's the final timeout for the Suns when we resume Phoenix ball with 12 seconds left.
There ought to be a stat for desire. They could figure out a formula for it. Number of times a player dies for a loose ball, plus the number of times he took a charge, multiplied by the number of times he ignored pain. They could put it in the papers. The 10 guys who play with the most desire. Hopefully, they'd spell my name right.
12 seconds remaining in regulation. The Bulls and the Suns are tied at 103 following that timeout, the final timeout for the Phoenix Suns. It will be Phoenix ball, and they will look to hold for a final shot, what they hope will be the game winner to cut it to a 2-1 Chicago lead in this best of 7.
Decision for the coaching staff. Do you want to take the ball, foul line extended in the backcourt where KJ came up with the steal, or do you want to advance it to the half-court line and take it in there? I might like to take it in the backcourt, give that guy a full head of steam coming up the floor with the basketball, make some decisions from there.
Especially because you got 12 seconds. But I look for what Phoenix to do is run that same play they ran against San Antonio. Maybe that Charles Barkley just go one-on-one and put the game in his hands.
Let's go over to Hannah.
Well, the word from the Phoenix bench is that the Suns are going to go with the same play that won them the game against the San Antonio Spurs. Give it to Charles and get out of the way. Mark?
All right, Hannah, Frank Johnson has come on for the first time. Danny Ainge will inbound. Dick Pavetta blows the whistle. And apparently Chicago wanted to look things over, and they take a timeout. Phil Jackson checking out the scheme of the Phoenix Suns, and he now has one timeout remaining. So we'll take a break. Bulls and Suns tied at 103. 103. Phil Jackson just took a timeout after checking out the Phoenix Suns alignment. And what will this now do to the Suns and their offensive plan?
First of all, let's go back to why Phil Jackson had to use up a timeout. Chicago already has one delay a game call against them. If they would have taken another delay a game, it would be a technical foul. Phoenix would shoot a technical. So they couldn't run the guy out of bounds to delay the pass in and get a look at what play. He used the timeout. Right now he's going into options defensively. If this happens, if that happens, that's how we want to play it. Meantime, decision for Paul Westphal in the Phoenix huddle is, do we come out and run the same play that we were going to run, or do we come with a little bit something different?
Well, I think they may change the play, but they're going to still give it to Charles Barkley no matter what.
Let's go back to Hannah.
And apparently on this play, Charles is going to try to penetrate, and if he can't get a shot, he's going to dish it to another player along the baseline, Mark.
All right, and Ainge once again will throw in from the center court area. Barkley lined up at the top of the circle, guarded by Grant. And they're having a very friendly conversation. Barkley comes out for it. Checks the clock. Works it down. 5 seconds to go. Here's Barkley off the pump. Rebound, Jordan. Calling for time. The clock showing 0.2 of a second remaining. Let's see if they adjust that. 0.2 of a second remaining. Chicago using its final timeout.
The difference in this shot and the one against San Antonio, he came straight at David Robinson, had him back it up. This time, Grant got him going to his left, so he had to shoot back across his body. He had to use a little fake first to get enough room to get Grant off balance before he got the shot. The coach, does he think it's going in? He's hoping real hard right now. Doesn't get the good bounce.
And they have adjusted the clock. 1 full second remaining in this fourth quarter.
Now, as we mentioned before about using delay of games, Chicago had used up their one opportunity. Phoenix does have a delay of game left. So when Chicago comes out of this timeout, the guy on the basketball for Phoenix should count 1,001. Then run across that sideline with his hands up. The referees will stop the game, and they'll let him start over again. This will give him a chance to look at it.
And here's the replay again. Let's see if it was 1 second left on the clock when Michael Jordan called timeout. He's up. So it must have been somebody else other than Michael Jordan. Mike Mathis had the first timeout. He was in the backside. Shot again.
It's at the foul line. Darrell Walker, number 20, is the one who signals the first timeout for the Chicago Bulls.
Now, if I'm Phoenix, I'm going to put 2 players, the out-of-bounds man and Michael's original man, on Michael Jordan to make sure he don't be the guy who's going to beat me here.
So you're going to double-team Michael Jordan without the basketball?
Exactly, right now.
Then how are you going to take your delay of game? You got to think about that.
You take that first and then double-team it.
Okay. All right, let's go to Ahmad.
What the Chicago Bulls are going to go is what they call a wraparound play between Michael or Scotty. One of them will break to the basket. The other one will take the shot or try to get it inside.
All right, Ahmad, Pippen will throw in from the center court area. 1 second remaining in regulation. Game is tied, and there is the delay of game taken by Danny Ainge. So the Suns are able to check it over.
And you saw that Frank Johnson and Kevin Johnson are double-teaming Michael Jordan right now.
All right, now Pippen will throw in. Pippen to the basket to Grant, and we go to overtime. That almost worked. Horace Grant led by Scottie Pippen, and he almost got away with it. But we go to overtime.
Okay, we were just talking about they should double-team Michael Jordan to make sure he doesn't be the one who beat you, that anybody else on the floor beat you.
There's the pass by Pippen inside to Grant. who just can't control it to convert the basket attempt. As Magic said, Michael, 2 times, he can't get free. That's where Scotty's trying to go with the pass at first. He can't get it, so he goes to the Grant option.
So we head to overtime. The Bulls and Suns tied at 103. For a most intriguing play attempted with Pippen trying on the lead to connect with Grant. The reaction by Phil Jackson, who was a member of that 69-70 New York Knicks team that, sad to admit, but I recall Christmas night at Madison Square Garden, Red Holzman pulled off a Walt Clyde Frazier inbounds pass from center court to Willis Reed that won the game at the buzzer against Detroit. That very same play.
Obviously, I wouldn't remember.
As
back
I said,
in the 60s, I was just a baby at that time.
Right.
I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not going to touch that one.
On to the 5-minute overtime. Charles Barkley has played 39 minutes. Kevin Johnson has got all 48. Jordan with the save. Dan Marley has played 44. Michael Jordan has gone 42 minutes. In the fourth quarter, the Bulls 8 for 29 from the field. The Suns 6 for 12, and Jordan only 1 of 10, so he was not able to take over. And that is very rare. Michael is off. Danny Ainge moving across. Ainge, Marley, Johnson, Barkley, and West on the floor for the Suns. They double up on Ainge, who gets it to West. Jordan tried to intercept. It was deflected by Jordan, no backcourt. Ainge has to throw it up. Shot clock was running down, and a new 24 for the Suns.
Trying to get into the 2-man game, the pick and roll set, KJ and West.
Seven on the 24. Good look by Johnson, and West will go to the line. He was held. Mark West was fouled.
Once you run 2-man basketball and you're double teamed as the ball handler, the roll man gets a defensive guy to rotate to him, then the other 3 players must get to spots on the floor. The spot that time right in the heart of the defense, middle of the lane.
Mark West, 52% free throw shooter, but 3 of 4 from the line tonight. Like Scottie Pippen has a cramp holding the left thigh.
Maybe he took a knee and he's trying to rub it out.
So West misses on both.
I think what they have to do, that being the Chicago Bulls, is get Michael down closer on the box, closer to the basket, or he won't have to dribble as much.
Pippen picked up by Barkley. Smooth stroke by Pippen, who has 26. The Bulls 105, the Suns 103. We are in overtime, 3:20 remaining.
Their spacing is distorted, Phoenix. They come off the pick and roll. The guys aren't in spots. They were bunched up that time.
Johnson forced it. Shot clock at 3. Down to 2. Marley. And Williams comes away with it. Once again, Phoenix having a difficult time finding shots.
But see, Marv, they should use the decoy man. Go through Charles Barkley on the post. They were getting a lot of good shots doing that. Now they've gone away from that, and they've gone to the pick and roll play.
Armstrong for 3. Barkley rebound. Phoenix has missed its last 5 shots. 2.5 left in overtime. Barkley came up short, expected some contact, and then Grant stepped away.
A big possession right here for the Chicago Bulls because they can take control of this game if they can score here.
Pippen. Last touch by the Suns.
The officials right now are letting these 2 teams play. There's a lot of body contact. They're letting the players determine the outcome.
Phil Jackson is hollering at Scotty and BJ, he want to get something going to that basket where he can get a foul or maybe a layup and not jump shots right here.
Crowd chanting, let's go Bulls. Jordan to the basket. He's 1 for his last 12.
Good job by West stepping up that time to take away that clean look of Michael Jordan.
Ames with the step. Barkley through the foul. Took a hip check from Scott Williams. Charles Barkley will shoot a pair.
Something that wasn't happening in game 1 and 2 as the Bulls players were putting it on the floor. No one was coming over. There you see West. Even though Michael goes by him, he doesn't get a clean look. And now Charles initiates the contact with the ball fake. Just wants to draw body contact. And then maybe the shot will fall. Who knows? But now they've got to make their free throws.
Barkley only 2 of 5 from the line. 76% for the season. Barkley with 16 points, 16 rebounds, and he has played hurt.
And on this next free throw, it will be a 23-5 advantage at the foul line in favor of the Phoenix Suns.
Charles seeking to tie the game. The Suns and the Bulls at 105 apiece. A minute and 40 left in overtime. Jordan working down low. Changed his shot but drew the foul. West came over looking for the block.
Give Scott Williams almost the assist or the credit for that because he blocked. He blocked off KJ in order for him to come over and help. Oh, it's not a shooting foul.
No, at the last second, the two officials conferred and they said that Michael passed it off at the end. Instead of shooting it, they give it to him on the side.
Oh, man. And the foul was committed by Barkley, his 5th. Now Phil Jackson calls for a timeout with a minute and 33 left in OT.
The determining factor at the end, after the whistle, watch what Michael does with the basketball. Does he shoot the basketball or does he try to hit a teammate with a pass? In their opinion, he was trying to hit Grant underneath, so they give him the ball out on the side.
With the timeout, they'll step out for these words.
Hold him down. KJ holds Michael Jordan's right arm there. He grabs him, and because of that, Jordan can't follow through for a shot attempt. So as a result, it looks like he's trying to pass the ball to Horace Grant. The officials conferred. They awarded the ball out on the side. Michael saying, he pulled my arm down. That's why I couldn't shoot it. Phil Jackson, the coach, he can't believe it.
Well, when the last time you seen Michael Jordan go to the basket and you know it's winning time and he's not going to shoot it? You know that man's been in this situation millions of times. You know he's going to shoot that basketball.
So the Bulls get the new 24. Minute 33 remaining in overtime. Game time 105. And it's Johnson one-on-one against Jordan. No help. Now Marley over, leaving Pippen open. And on the back tap comes back to Jordan.
Phoenix did a good job of defending it.
Johnson fell down, going for the fake, and Michael Jordan, who has struggled from the 4th quarter on, is able to hit the basket that gives Chicago a 2-point lead.
The first time they tried to get it going, Phoenix defended him well. But on the reverse, KJ loses his balance trying to hip up and bump Michael Jordan. Jordan then, with no one in front of him, gets a clean look, hits the jump shot. KJ there, goes down. You've got to try and maintain your balance. Don't give him a clear look.
A minute 5 left in overtime.
Great bounce to Cabral. Kevin Johnson.
I love it.
What a jam.
Man, the vacuum with the... Oh,
you gotta love it.
I love it. Hey!
Double block.
NBA action makes me happier than Jerry Lewis in Paris. I love this game.
At one point, the Suns led by 11, 101-90. They have only one field goal in the last 10 minutes and 14 seconds. A long drought for the Phoenix Suns, who are trailing 107. 105 with 1:05 remaining in overtime. Let's go over to Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Marv, they're going to try to get the ball to Tom Chambers, posting up down low. If he can't get it, can't get the shot, he's going to try to kick it back out. But Paul Westphal emphasized no three-pointers at this point in the game.
Kevin Johnson setting it up against Michael Jordan. Chambers set the pick. Here's Chambers. Oh, what a move. Tom Chambers ties the game at 107.
That's the reason they took Mark West out, because they knew that Tom Chambers should score once the double team came.
Down to 40 seconds in overtime. Jordan met on the switch by Chambers. Chambers helping out. Shot clock at 6. Shot clock at 4. And the Phoenix Suns in possession. We're down to 20 seconds in the overtime. 15 on the shot clock. Kevin Johnson checking with Paul Westphal. No timeout being called. They want to continue the play. Barkley going at Grant. Here's Johnson on the penetration. Barkley with the rebound. Barkley goes short. Rebound Johnson. Time running down. Here's Haynes to win it. We go to a second overtime. Danny Ainge with a chance to wrap it. But it is on to a second overtime here in Chicago with the Bulls and the Suns tied at 107.
Well, you know, is Pippen hurt? He might have a leg cramp. He's trying to rub it out. You can see that right now. And here's Chambers right here going into the drive. Switch to the left hand. Good. And then KJ taking it to the basket to win. Charles Barkley hustles to get another shot. He may have taken that shot too quickly because there was 5 seconds on the shot clock still remaining. And here's KJ kicking out to Danny Ainge for a 3. As I was telling you earlier, the guys are too tired right now. And here's Paul Westphal's reaction to win. Oh.
So it is on to a second overtime. We'll be right back.
No charges called. He misses. Barkley comes up with the ball, takes a fadeaway, can't find it. Kevin Johnson fights 2 Chicago Bulls players, splits the double team, gets it out to Ainge, who gets a wide open look with just over a second remaining, but then he can't put it to the bottom.
Well, like I was telling you, see, the reason Pippen got the cramp because he's tired. The reason Danny Ainge couldn't make that 3-point shot because he has no legs, he's tired. These guys are fatigued, and they're playing like it right here in the first overtime. Let's see if it continues in the second overtime. They're going to have to get something going to the basket, both teams.
Well, the longest playoff games this season, Charlotte Hornets went double overtime twice. They won both, beat Boston, beat the Knicks. Only 2 playoff games in NBA history have gone more than 2 overtimes. In 53, a Boston-Syracuse game went 4, and in 76, the Celtics and the Phoenix Suns went 3 overtimes, Boston beating Phoenix 128 to 126. We are on to the second overtime. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson from Chicago. The Bulls and Suns tied at 107. The foul situation, Charles Barkley with 5. Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong, Michael Jordan each have 4. Barkley and Grant on the tip. It is controlled by the Suns. Phoenix at one point led by as many as 11. They went cold down the stretch in the 4th quarter. The Bulls and Suns each scored only 4 points in that first overtime. Here's Marley from 3. Marley has hit 5 from 3-point land.
I tell you, you're not going to be able to hit jump shots because all the team, everybody on both teams is tired. They're just fatigued. So you're going to have to go inside.
Armstrong, Tucker, Jordan in a 3-guard setup for Chicago along with Grant and Williams.
Dan Marley takes the challenge of guarding Michael Jordan to start out the second overtime.
Michael Jordan, 2 for his last 15. Richard Dumas is back for Phoenix. Up front 11, Tom Chambers, Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley. At the guards, shot clock at 5. Here's Marley. And back come the Bulls as Tucker controls.
I'm just so surprised that both teams are not realizing that their legs are gone and take the ball inside to somebody to get a shot there.
Armstrong, way off. And Barkley able to get to it.
Do I have to go out and make an announcement?
They can only hear the game while they're playing it.
Oh, man.
Scottie Pippen getting ready to make his way back. Dumas lost it. And Grant stepped out. He felt he was pushed. It'll be Phoenix ball with 6 on the 24. And Charles Barkley in a conversation with Darryl Garrett and Trent Tucker sitting down. And now they change the shot clock. 24 is posted.
Pippen is back.
Scottie Pippen making his return. Chambers passed on the 3, and Chambers had to change the shot. Knocked out by the Bulls.
They did a good job that time of making Chambers go back to his left hand. He does not like to go that way. He wants to drive right when he can.
How about this? Last 6 minutes and 41 seconds. A total of only 8 points have been scored by both teams. 4 apiece. That's been it. Just under 3 minutes to go in the second overtime. Fadeaway by Barkley, way off.
How about this number? In the series so far from the outside, Charles Barkley is 6 for 30. It's about 20%. Inside, he's shooting 66%, 25 out of 38.
Inside for Williams. Well, Pippen did get it. Down low to Scott Williams. Chicago leads by 2.
That's what you have to do. Move the ball around. They got a good shot that time, Chicago.
For Scott Williams, that is his first field goal of the night. He does have 13 rebounds. Shot clock at 5. Armstrong off the steal and a foul given by Johnson.
A little body bump makes KJ lose control right there of the dribble, but a smart foul in the backcourt before BJ can cross the half-court line, so no free throws will be awarded.
I can't believe KJ has played this entire game and the 2 overtimes. I mean, this man must be dead tired. I mean, that's maybe the reason why he lost that ball. After you get body checked like that sometimes, he's so tired you just lose it.
Bill Cartwright replacing Scott Williams. There's Frank Johnson, who made just a brief appearance tonight. Bulls by 2. We come up on 2 minutes remaining of the second overtime. Jordan! And Chicago leads 111-107. Just under 2 minutes remaining of the second OT. Marley gets inside. Marley on the rebound. Good second effort by Dan Marley to bring the Suns within 2.
We just got 6 straight points scored. All of them have been inside. So they're starting to take the ball inside. That's both teams.
Scottie Pippen came up hobbling. And a foul is called. Suns doubling up on Jordan. It's on Kevin Johnson. That is his 5th.
Jordan flashes across the lane, goes box to box, catches KJ on his back. They deliver the ball right on time at the right moment, just when Michael needed it to convert the layup.
Minute and a half left in the second overtime. The Suns 111-109. The Phoenix franchise and their fans certainly familiar with this game back in June of 1976. Garfield Hurd hitting over Don Nelson to force a 3rd overtime of the NBA Championship Series. Eventually, the Boston Celtics went on to defeat the Phoenix Suns 128-126. The longest NBA Finals contest. 3 overtimes, and the Celtics beat the Phoenix Suns. We have 1:30 to go in this, the second overtime, and the Bulls with a 2-point lead and the ball. More on the Scottie Pippen situation. You saw him come up limping a moment ago. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, it's still that problem with those cramps. Every time he moves, he gets a cramp in a different place. I just found out that if he's not able to go, they'll have to go with Trent Tucker. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. Armstrong with the look down low for Jordan. Now Jordan to the fadeaway. Basket for Michael Jordan, who has been struggling from the fourth quarter on. He's given Chicago a 4-point lead as we approach 1 minute remaining. Jordan has 38 points, 17 for 40. And on the double team, Dick Pavetta with the foul call on Jordan. That is number 5.
Michael Jordan knows that Pippen's struggling. He's got to do it. After he makes this one, he turns as he's running down the floor, and on his face you could see a sigh of relief, as if to say, can't tell you how big that basket was just then.
And I can't tell you how tired I am. That's what he was saying as well.
Michael is 4 for his last 17. Barkley with the post up. Barkley puts the move on Grant, and a foul is called. It's on Grant. That is his 5th. So Barkley to the line. He is 4 of 7 from the foul line.
Barkley just muscles his way into a shot. It's just his will to win. He fights off Grant. Jordan reaches in. He pulls the ball back away from him and initiates the contact.
And remember, the referees will not try to decide this game. They're not going to call a lot of those fouls they call in the first 3 quarters of this game.
Phoenix with their 24th free throw. They are 16 of 24. How about Chicago? They've gone to the line only 5 times this evening. 4 of 5 from the line.
Barkley 78% in the playoffs, 76% during the regular season from the foul line.
Well, Charles hits 1 of 2, and the Bulls with a 3-point lead. 50 seconds to go in the second overtime. Chicago seeking to take a 3-0 lead in the best of 7. Jordan got the step, and he is fouled.
Something that Chicago has enjoyed doing in the playoffs. From their triangle offense, they create in isolation a clear out. This time everybody was on the left side of the floor. Michael had the whole right side. The next 2 defenders come over, but a little bit too late to help out.
Jordan 1 of 2 from the line. Well, you know he is off.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's tired, Marv. He didn't even get up on his legs for the free throw and follow through. I watched him all the way. After the 11th hand, he knew he had missed it. So let's see if he gets the follow through and get up on his free throw shot this time.
Time he was strong, but he got the back rim.
Yes, you know, that's what happens. He changed it a little bit, but he still knocked it down.
Timeout has been called with 40 and 2/10 seconds left in the second overtime. Bulls by 4.
Great bounce to Cabral. Kevin Johnson.
I love it.
What a jam.
Man, the vacuum with the... Oh,
you gotta love it.
I love it. Hey! NBA action makes me happier than Jerry Lewis in Paris. I love this game.
Won't you take it? Won't he take it?
40 seconds to go in the second overtime, and Chicago with a 114-110 lead on Phoenix. How about Kevin Johnson? He has gone the distance. He's played 57 minutes. He's gone all the way. And Molly, 53 minutes. Scottie Pippen, 50. B.J. Armstrong, 52. Michael Jordan, 51. There will be a lot of tired folks tomorrow morning. A couple of days of rest before game number 4 takes place on Wednesday night.
Everybody will sleep good tonight. You can be sure of that.
And game 4 from Chicago Stadium here on Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on NBC. Marley will inbound. Phoenix is 8 for 14 from three-point range. Marley has hit 5. That's one short of a NBA Finals record. And is shared by several players. Johnson off the dribble. Sets up Charles Barkley. It's a 2-point Chicago lead.
And now with 32 seconds remaining on the game clock, you dig in, get a good stop defensively. You still have plenty of time to use your timeouts and get the ball up the floor. You don't want to foul. You want to get a stop and rebound the basketball.
Oh, Jordan slipped. Nearly traveled. Pippen. That was deflected short. And Barkley gets to it. 10 seconds left in the second overtime. The Suns are down by 2. Marley. Yes! Dan Marley has tied the game at 114. Timeout called by Chicago with 3 2/10 seconds remaining in the second overtime.
They are showing, the Phoenix Suns are showing championship basketball right now. They could have just went down and they said, no, we're going to fight back. And here's Dan Marley, pump fake there and knocks it down. I have to give all the respect to the Phoenix Suns for keep fighting back, They've really played hard in an aggressive game today.
Marley with 23 points. The reaction of Paul Westphal. That's a great deal of excitement shown, at least for Paul. We'll be right back. Line drive jump shot to tie the game at 114 as the Suns came from behind us. The Bulls did earlier. Timeouts remaining. Suns have 2 left. The Bulls have 1 remaining. Looks like Paul Westphal wants to send in Frankie Johnson and Mark West.
They're going down to double team Michael Jordan again, just like they did earlier.
Chicago likes to have Pippen pass it and follow the passing right now. So since they're double teaming Jordan, there's nobody playing Scottie Pippen.
All right, Pippen will throw in. 3 2/10 seconds to go. Grant for Pippen. He has the shot. Gets it off. And we go to a third overtime. So the Suns and the Bulls will join the Suns and the Celtics of the 1975-76 season. The longest game in the history of the NBA Finals. A third overtime. It matches Boston and Phoenix back in June of '76.
Pippen, after he passed it in, and he had a tough time getting it in, then stepped inbounds. They got the ball right back to him, the Chicago Bulls. Someone had to recover. It was Frankie Johnson that made him put it on the floor. And pick him up, or else he'll be all by himself. Pippen has a tough time getting it in, but when he does finally get it in and steps in, it's Frankie Johnson that releases, goes back and picks him up, and at least by making him put it on the floor, he did not give him a clear shot at the basket.
Man, you know, I hate to say this cliche thing, but this NBA is fantastic. This is the reason that slogan is made up, because this game is fantastic. This Chicago-Phoenix game, this is unbelievable right here.
We head on to a third overtime. The Bulls and the Suns at 114 apiece. The foul rundown, 5 apiece on Horace Grant, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and Kevin Johnson. And the Suns control the tip. Johnson played by Jordan. Johnson trying to do it off the dribble and was stopped.
See what happened, Marv? Last time Michael let him go to his power hand, his right hand. This time he forced him to his left hand, his weaker hand, and that's why he came up with a short shot.
Now Pippen on a mismatch. Well, Scott Williams with only his second field goal, but both have been significant. The Bulls lead 116-114. Johnson, yes. Kevin Johnson, who has played every minute of this game. And this, the start of the third overtime, has come up with an outstanding all-around performance. 25 points for Johnson. And the game is tied at 1-16. Kevin Johnson now playing his 60th minute. Armstrong, it's a two-point attempt. Grant hustles it down. And a new 24 for the Bulls.
Paul Westphal complaining that time Barkley was shoved in the back. That's why he didn't come up with the rebound.
Here's Jordan. The Bulls lead by 2. 40 points for Michael Jordan. Shot clock at 5. Barkley. Marley for 3. Whoa! Dan Marley with his 6th three-pointer. And that ties an NBA Finals record. Put Dan Marley alongside Michael Cooper, Michael Jordan, and Bill Laimbeer. You recall Jordan did it against Portland in last season's NBA Final. Marley hit 8 for a playoff record in the Seattle series. Marley came up with that steal, and Barkley able to finish it off. So the Suns lead by 3 off the three-pointer by Marley, and then the steal by Marley leading to the breakaway basket.
After Charles Barkley thought a double team was coming, he kicked out Marley, knowing that he's got to get it up before Pippen can rotate back out to him, launches it from way behind the three-point line. Then back at the defensive end of the floor, Pippen starts to throw a backdoor pass to Michael Jordan, but Michael changed direction. Scotty lost control. Phoenix off on the fast break.
Dan Marley with 26 points. He's hit 6 from downtown, and Marley with his 6th three-pointer ties the NBA Finals record. 6 for 8 from three-point land for Marley. Suns lead it by 3. Chicago, 5 apiece on Barkley, Johnson, Grant, and Jordan. How about Kevin Johnson? He has played in 7 seconds. It will officially be 61 minutes. The most minutes ever played in an NBA Finals series. Garfield Hurd, 61 minutes in that triple overtime between Boston and Phoenix, and Kevin Johnson about to pass him by. The Suns lead 121, 118. Jordan drawing the double team. Shot clock is down to 7. Pippen. Shot clock down to 3. Pippen's shot fell short. Ames with the rebound.
See, they've kept Kevin Johnson on Michael Jordan. The reason is foot speed out in front. But as soon as he makes a move down towards the basket, they come and double team Michael and try to get the ball out of his hands.
Dick Pavetta with the foul call. Horace Grant has fouled out. So Grant, who came on late, finishes with 13 points and 17 rebounds. And that a big loss for the Bulls.
KJ going to his left, not as effective as going to his right, but the bump there by Grant brings on his last foul. Coach, he kind of likes it.
Horace Grant hearing it from the crowd. He's replaced by Stacey King. Horace went 44 minutes. Just under 2 minutes to go in this third overtime. Open shot for Chambers. And King able to get to Barkley on the intercept. Charles Barkley with the interception and the field goal. And the Suns now lead by 5.
Charles Barkley taking a page out of that Chicago book where they like to hang around in the backcourt and steal outlet passes. No bigger one than that for Charles.
Armstrong rebounded by Marley. And Kevin Johnson controls. Now to a minute and 20 remaining in this third overtime. A remarkable turnaround by the Phoenix Suns, able to come from behind on several occasions during the course of the overtime. Here's Marley, and he's fouled. Marley was hacked, and he'll go to the line.
Here it comes right here. The Barkley still, what he's going to do, he's going to pretend like he's going down court, then all of a sudden start running in front of Michael Jordan and lays it right back in. You got to love the heart, the character of this Phoenix Suns team from coming back. They looked like they were going to lose it, then kept coming back, and now they have a chance to win this game right now.
As we mentioned earlier, the Phoenix Suns had the best road record in the NBA during the regular season at 27-14. Chicago Bulls during the regular season were not invincible at home, but this not the same Chicago Bulls team during the playoffs that we saw during the regular campaign when they went 31-10. But in the finals, the Bulls, over the last 3 years, 3-2 at home, and on the road 7-up and 1 down, which is surprising.
Sometimes players have a hard time understanding why coaches emphasize points early in the game. Go back to when, at the end of the first quarter, Pippen went a little bit too soon to the basket.
And Jordan gets the roll. 5-point Phoenix lead. Just under 1 minute remaining in this third overtime.
Okay, this is clock management time now. Run that clock all the way down into the Phoenix Suns and then get a shot maybe right at the end of it.
Shot clock at 7. Ainge was hit by Tucker. Bulls are over the limit. So Ainge, who is a terrific free throw shooter at 85%, will go to the line. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
If it seems like the Phoenix Suns are doing a better job running the pick and roll right now than they were earlier, the main reason is because the guy setting the screen is actually screening someone. He's putting a body on him. Early in the game, they were missing it, so as a result, Chicago was able to either get over or go under and recover and play both players. Right now, 2 defensive players are being occupied by the man with the ball because a good screen has been set.
And a timeout called by Phil Jackson. The Suns lead by 7 with 40 and 9/10 seconds to go in this third overtime. Premature celebration by several members of the Phoenix Suns. With the timeout, we'll take a break for these messages.
Takes out Stacey King, who tries to cross it over to Michael Jordan, and it proves to be a monstrous basket for the Phoenix Suns here as they open up the lead against the Chicago Bulls. Charles with the big defensive play, not noted for his outstanding defense perhaps in the half-court area, but certainly big right there.
Charles Barkley, playing despite that injured right elbow, has come through with 24 points, 19 rebounds. Dan Marley, 28 points, including 6 three-pointers. And Kevin Johnson turning it around, 25 points, 9 assists. Kevin Johnson has got the entire game. Michael Jordan leading Chicago with 43. Scottie Pippen with 26. Chambers knocks it away. And a foul called on Tucker. Trent Tucker called for the foul. He tried to get it back. And with Chicago over the limit, the Suns will go to the line.
Tomorrow, excellent call. What happened was Tom Chambers came over, stole the ball, took it out of Trent Tucker's hand, and then in retaliation, Trent Tucker then fouled him. But this Phoenix team has not quit all game long. And if I'm Paul Westphal, what I do is try to grab that game ball and give it to Kevin Johnson to make him realize, hey, you did it for us, big fella. You were the key. We want you to play just like that in game number 4.
And here's Frank Johnson replacing Charles Barkley. And Barkley greeted back at the bench. Charles able to hang in, playing hurt, and comes through with a very tough performance. 9-point Suns lead. 30 seconds remaining in this third overtime. Jordan draws the foul on the three-point attempt. That a potential 4-point play. Ainge called for the foul. Jordan will go to the line. Talk about trying to get points back in a hurry. That could have been a 4-pointer.
Well, Jordan, knowing he's the veteran that he is, he just created that foul right there. He just really jumped into Danny Ainge and made the referees call that.
Rare appearance at the free throw line for the Bulls. They are 5 for 7. That's it. While the Suns 22 for 31. 8-point Phoenix lead. Here's Gerard Mustaf, who has not played at all this series. Checking in.
Not bad when you can pick up 16 extra points at the foul line.
Yeah. Well, Jordan trying to slap it off the glass, does get to it, and then Frank Johnson breaks it up. Look out. Frank Johnson making new friends in the crowd. Michael Jordan missed on purpose, but he did not get the angle that he was looking for.
Yes, it's a smart move. They're trying to do anything they can to win this game, that being the Bulls.
Here's Jordan for three. And the ball goes to Phoenix with 20 seconds remaining. Suns lead 129-121. The crowd here at Chicago Stadium is filing out as Mustaf handles. And the Suns just looking to run the clock down in a remarkable come-from-behind victory. The Phoenix Suns in triple overtime have defeated the Chicago Bulls 129-121 to battle their way back into this series. Chicago now leading it 2-1. Game number 4 will take place here at Chicago Stadium on Wednesday. Game 5 now will take place here in Chicago on Friday. Now let's go over to Ahmad.
We'll find one, Paul. Well, I got Paul Westphal right here. And as soon as I find a camera, we'll be in business. Right. All right, Paul. Now we'll go over to Hannah.
Hey, I'm here with Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley. First of all, Charles, a heroic effort on your part. How much pain were you playing in tonight?
Well, you know, I can't use pain excuse. I can't believe how I feel right now. I know I'm the best one-on basketball player in the world, though. But, hey, I love this guy. And I kept telling him all day, 1836. I said, there ain't no pressure out here, just have fun.
Kevin, you were feeling pain of a different kind. The boos on your home crowd. You were vilified in the newspaper, seen as the GOAT of Game 1 and 2, but you came back with an absolutely stunning performance. Is there any personal vindication in this?
It's just a good win for the team. I want to do whatever I could to make our team win. And when I walked into Chicago, I had a lot of fans here. They were cheering me, I guess, because they liked the way I had been playing in Game 1 and 2.
You played more minutes in this game than anyone in NBA Finals history. Was there any point in the game where Coach Westphal wanted to take you out?
Not really. He wanted to give me some confidence. He let me play the whole first half. I was just trying to be aggressive. In the second half, it's a matter of emotion, and you're going to do whatever it takes to win.
Congratulations on a spectacular win and showing a lot of heart and character. Now let's go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Anna. Paul Westphal, you played in '76 in that triple overtime against Boston. Any similarities here tonight?
Well, the biggest difference is the good guys won this time.
What about KJ? Put in all that time. Did you ever think about taking him out?
No, I just told him if he ever needed a rest to let me know. But I was so happy for him. And that guy has taken a beating in the press and by the fans. And he's too great of a player, and he showed what he can do in the finals. I'm very happy for him.
God had to be great for his confidence factor because, as you said, he did take a lot of heat. But as he played so many minutes tonight, how do you look forward to the next game?
Hey, if we didn't win tonight, we could have kissed next game goodbye. I mean, he has 3 days to rest. We play Wednesday. He might play 48 minutes next game, too. Who knows?
All right, Paul. Good luck to you and congratulations and everything. See you next on Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Paul. Back to you.
All right, Ahmad, and it was 62 minutes for Kevin Johnson. Scored 25 points at 9 assists. Charles Barkley, 24 points, 19 rebounds. Dan Marley on fire, 28 points, including a record-tying NBA Finals 6 from three-point land. Michael Jordan had 44. A dramatic triple overtime victory for the Phoenix Suns over the Chicago Bulls, 129-121. Due to the length of the game, Mad About You will not be seen. Coming up next, Law and Order. For Bob Costas, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson, Ahmad Rashad, and Hannah Storm, I'm Marv Albert. This has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC.